All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to Caliber Corner, episode number 298, season 6, firearms cleaning 101 and maintenance. I looked it up in the list of Caliber Corner episodes, and it was October 24th of 2020, if I'm not mistaken, when we did our last discussion on cleaning firearms. It was episode 158 or 159. It's been almost 3 years to the day that we did an episode, a discussion on gun cleaning. And I don't know if my methods have really changed a whole lot. There's been some changes in the products that I use, and I've gotten some things to make my life easier when I make cleaning videos. And just one of the reasons why, well, a couple of reasons why we're having this topic. First of all, the channel, I think it turned 9 years old today, maybe if I'm not mistaken, since I posted the first video. And so that's kind of a milestone. That's cool. And also I posted cleaning video number 100 on the channel, and it was my neighbor loaned me his Taurus TH9, and he had just bought it. So I went ahead and did the cleaning video on it. I actually bought him out of my own money a cleaning kit from Aegis Gun Care, gave that to him. He's just getting into firearms. He is a retired Marine, and just getting back into firearms after kind of a long hiatus from gun ownership. And so I'm working with him on that and getting him out to the range. And I wanted to get him a cleaning kit. And I just, I've been having a bunch of my peers on YouTube just talk to me about Aegis gun cleaning products and what they use. And so I decided just to contact the owner. We were talking a little bit. He sent me a kit. I got a discount code for you guys, an affiliate link. So that's what we're doing. So after 100 videos, decided to finally settle down with the company that I'm just going to be working with and buying from and supporting, and they'll support me, and it should be a good thing. So check out the link city while you guys are there. And I'm not going to make this just an all ages gun care discussion. It's about gun cleaning and maintenance and what you use, because as we're going to discover, many of us are very brand loyal about the cleaners that we use. We're very picky about what we use. It's like, I'll use the same cleaner that my daddy used and his granddaddy used, etc. And turns out it's like 7 generations of Hoppy's 9 users, So we're here to talk about that today, what some of our favorite cleaners are, what we do, etc., and how that works. There's a poll out there. It's already got some interesting results. And then I'll kind of give you guys some comments about what it's been like putting all those cleaning videos up there, and like what kind of feedback I get from people when I make the videos, because it's very interesting what people say when they watch those videos. But before we do that, we'll go ahead and let the panel introduce themselves, and I've got a few announcements that I want to make, so we'll get those out of the way here in just a little bit. So Squibload's joining us. Squib, how's it going? Do you have your Ballistol on standby? Your cans of Ballistol?
Yeah, I've got the frog lube behind me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how much I'll have to add to a cleaning video, but I think it's kind of, we'll all have a different take on it, maybe.
So Aegis Gun Care, you don't pronounce the A? I always thought it was Aegis. Aegis. Would it be Aegis if it was Greek? I have no idea. Clover, honestly, I didn't know. I just call it Aegis or Aegis. I just pronounce it as I see it, but I don't. Do you guys know it's pronounced Aegis? I guess I should know. I've seen a million videos on you guys, but okay. Well, all right, we'll change it from
It's Aegis, I thought.
Well, he's saying Aegis Gun Care, so maybe you don't pronounce the A.
There's an Aegis fire control on destroyers and frigates. It's the Aegis radar system. That's what they use to shoot down plane missiles.
Well, maybe that's an acronym.
We've always called it Aegis.
Well, here,
we've always called it Aegis.
And I call it Taurus, but a lot of people call it Taurus. Okay, there's a city.
Well, you measure stuff. So,
Ant, caramel, caramel.
And really doesn't matter with Aegis gun all.
All right, so Clover, Rod, and Shelly say Aegis. Okay, well, we'll call it Aegis from here on out, Clover. I appreciate that. We'll definitely take care of that, so they would know what they want to call it. Right? Well, yeah, it's maybe what they want to call it. But I mean, I was just thinking of the original, not Roman or Greek, the origin of the word itself. Maybe the Spartan origins of that word and whatnot. So anyway, I'm not going to argue today. That's fine. Aegis is what we'll call it. We'll just go ahead and move on. But anyway, guys, I want to welcome everybody here. Squib, how you been doing? Are you staying busy or what?
Too busy.
Cool, man. Cool. You got give us a little tease here. What do you got coming up on the channel? Because there's always something new coming up on your channel. What's going to be the next video we're going to see? What do you got? What are you going to premiere?
I don't know.
Tools, coffee,
in the studio parts, here. I don't even know what I've got for. Yeah, YouTube studio content. I can't stand that word. Schedule
content creator. Yeah, more like passion creator is what it is. So
tomorrow I have a garden update.
Cool. All right. Hey, that's cool, man. And we're getting late season, so it's interesting what's left in the garden. So
yeah. No, I've got tons of stuff. Just haven't made time to edit it. This morning I was editing 2 videos for one of my B channels. I was working on another B channel just before you sent out links. So the A channel has been suffering some. I've got some voiceover work I got to do. I haven't made time for that.
Yeah.
I've got some videos that could be like 30 minutes or an hour long. It's, maybe touring something. So, I mean, you really got to want to see this in order to want to watch it. Otherwise, you'd be like, I ain't watching this for 35 minutes. But let's say that you were disabled and you couldn't get up and down stairs, or you're the kind of person who doesn't travel anywhere because you're boring and you want to see what this stuff looks like. I have videos like that, but those take like all day to edit. They really do. So I've been going for the low hanging fruit and doing the shorter stuff, doing the B channel stuff. So you're just not going to see. Actually, I tried to do a speaking squibbish yesterday in the truck where I'm like, is the Squiblo channel going away? Because I honestly don't want to put more time into this channel because I'm having more fun with my bees.
Yeah.
But I was just doing that just to be kind of a jerk, not really to make it, so the stuff I've got, I'm going to.
It's a clickbait.
Yeah, kind of clickbait. Yep.
You being here is clickbait, Rod. Apparently, you don't clean your guns, so I guess we're gonna have to give you a cleaning intervention. So yeah.
So I mean, I'm gonna say what I always say. Oh, I got plenty of stuff in the works, and just don't. And then what I'll do, I'll go make a cocktails with squib video because it's easy. And I have a bottle of rye that's been sitting there for 2 weeks. I wanted it 2 weeks ago. I wanted to have some rye, and I wanted to do a doggone video on it. So have I. So yeah, stuff is just backed up. And the thing is, I don't get crap for views, which is fine. I don't care.
Yeah.
So you think I wouldn't put as much effort into it as I do. So I'm just whatever.
Yeah. No,
you ain't gonna see no cleaning videos from me. That's for dang sure.
You know what? It takes a certain breed of animal to want to make a cleaning video, and they're never perfect, and they don't please everybody. But I just, anytime I get a comment from somebody that says, "Hey, I'm a new gun owner. Thanks for showing me how to do this. I feel more confident now. I feel like the video is worth it." That's all I really care about. That's why I'm so wordy in the videos, and my introductions are 4 minutes long, and I'm just trying to help people. I really enjoy that part of it, and for me, it's kind of a visual record of what I did. So if I go back and clean the gun later on, I've got a record how to do it. Because I've done so many different cleaning videos and things like that. But anyway, so no, it's cool, man. It's cool. It's good to have you here, and you've always got fun stuff. So guys, make sure you check out the Squiblo channel. Lots of good stuff every time. All right, New York Outcast is here. Rob, how's it going? You doing okay, man? You hanging in there or what?
Yeah, surviving, doing all right. Thanks for the invite. So yeah, finally something I can comment on or whatever. But
so I mean, let's just get right to the jugular here. Do you clean your firearms or not? Do you wait till they like start to have issues and then you clean them, or what's your
philosophy? I clean mine basically after every range trip.
Okay, all right.
And stuff, that was part of the rule back when we used to go out as a family. You can shoot it if you can clean it, type deal. So everybody chips in. Been doing that forever. Now I know there's a lot of talk out there. Everybody's got different opinions, but
yeah. It's no, we're never going to agree as a gun community ever.
Gun should be able to run dirty, But this is kind of like the whole gas tank theory. A lot of people keep it on quarter tank. A lot of people keep it full because you never know what's going to happen the next day. What phone call you're going to get, where you got to go. You know what I mean? So the way I see it, I need to be ready for war at any moment. I mean, not necessarily war, but ready for action.
If you grab it and you need to, if your life needs to depend on it, why wouldn't you want it? Why wouldn't you? Well, I mean, any tool can fail. But why wouldn't you want it in the best condition it possibly can be at the moment when you need it? So if it does fail, you tried. It's like, but for me, it's always been about like kind of the maintenance between range trips, just checking it over to make sure everything's okay, nothing's broken, nothing's cracked, there's no parts that are excessively worn out, and then put the gun back together and just leave it for the next trip. And honestly, with me, part of cleaning the firearms is there have been a time where I was testing so many firearms and range testing so many different guns that I wouldn't come back to my own firearms for a year or two. They'd be sitting in the gun safe for a year. I just would, because anytime I'd go to the range, if I can only go once a week, I'd only take the guns with me I was going to film, and I had to clean those and get them back. And then my guns would sit for years, so I would periodically take them out and clean them, and it was just kind of a hobby for me. But it's more about just looking it over to make sure, like you said, make sure it's in running condition, running order. So if you need that tool is going to function the way it's supposed to,
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
I don't want to name the place, but I worked for a place that had a small arms area, we'll say. And before I got there, the guns are always a backup. We'll put it that way. Rifles, whatnot. Da 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 da. Man, when I finally looked in that case, like stuff had so much surface rust. I don't know if half of them would have functioned. Nobody cleaned nothing. Like if there was an emergency, what do they expect to do? You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. If you store your guns long term, go through them at least quarterly and wipe them down, check them out. You know what I mean? God forbid. I mean, it's a heck of an investment to sit there for 4 years to open the door and find a bunch of rust and things don't want to function and pits and things and all this crap. So whether you use them or not, you should still clean them. My opinion.
Oh yeah. And I've noticed I've got one. My high point carbine's been sitting in there for almost a year now since I've shot it and cleaned it, and it's actually got some light surface rust on the outside of the receiver. But it had it before. It was like that before, and I kind of lightly triple odd buck sanded it down a little bit and just kind of took off some of that surface rust and then just wiped it down with CLP and left it. But it's just gonna get a rattle can spray paint job anyway, because the gun's already been modified and drilled and tapped for a rail. It's got like sheet metal screws holding the rail on the top, so I don't even care at this point. I'm just gonna rattle can it camo, But it's a good idea to maintain those guns, and the rust and stuff. It doesn't, especially if you're in a humid environment, it can be bad. You being in New York State, you might have some salt in the air that might accelerate rust, in that region that you live in, and it's hard telling. So yeah. All right, man. And then last but not least, Single Shot's with us. How you doing today, Single Shot? You doing all right?
Oh yeah, doing good. Getting rained on.
Are you on your way to? Are you on your way to Munchkin, Indiana, right now?
Yes, sir, I am.
Come with a different name for it every time. Munchie, Munchie,
Muncie. Yeah.
Munchie, like a munchie.
Nope, Muncie.
Muncie, Indiana.
Muncie.
Like we mentioned before, the hot rod parts that come out of there. So yeah, no, that's all right. Cool, man. So you excited for today's chat? Are you kind of OCD about cleaning your firearms like I am?
Oh yeah. My great grandfather told me a long time ago, before he gave me my first rifle, he says, if you don't take care of it, it's not going to take care of you.
Oh yeah.
So the man knew what he was talking about, and he taught me a lot about cleaning them, different types and stuff. He had a few lever actions and handguns, and one shotgun was the Browning A5, similar, the one that was built in 1900 by J.P. Savage. Boy, I'll tell you what, that was one gun that I'd like to have inherited from him. But that is a very good thing to do. If you do take care of them, they're gonna take care of you.
Absolutely,
and every time I get done with a range session or working on it, it gets wiped down, at least with a light coat of oil on the bore and on the outside.
Oh yeah.
And take a little bit of Old English 800 and get down over the wood if it's got wood.
Old English 800, you talking about the malt liquor, or do you mean like Old English?
No, I thought I'd throw that.
You crack a 40 and pour it all over the gun, one for me and one for my steel wool, one for me and my gun patch, Yeah.
No, the furniture polish.
Yeah. See, none of us are awake today.
We're getting there. Old English makes a furniture polish too? Wow.
Yeah. Well, you gotta see what it does to your inside, man.
It'll
clean you out on the inside. So yep.
Yeah, I thought that was a Single Shot hanging out down on the corner with the boys.
I prefer Colt 45 because it works every time. Yeah.
There you go, Billy D.
In the words of Billy D. Williams.
Yep.
So real quick, Clover Tax said triple-aught buck. Just a slip. I know you meant triple-aught steel wool, but I'm pretty sure if you use triple-aught, it seems a bit abrasive. Quadruple, it's under my sink. I've used it a couple times, and that's it. I said triple-aught buck. I was thinking of shot, whatever, but no, you would not want to use buckshot to remove rust. That would be a very bad technique. That would give it a very a color case hardened finish that I think you would never be able to remove. So sorry about that. You guys know what I'm saying. Quadruple-aught buck, whatever. I'm still waking up.
Yeah, we all make mistakes when we're talking.
Yeah, right on, man.
No, I always use I'll use my hoppies pretty much for the most part. I even will go and use a little bit of 3-in-1 oil. So what have you got when you got a semi-automatic weapon? You got a machine. Take care of it like a machine.
Yeah, I've heard everything
That's the way that
from,
I
you
do
know,
that.
comments people post like I use WD-40 to I use motor oil in the BCG. I mean, you know, you do whatever works best for you. I mean, I've just got the
Oh
products that
yeah,
I've been using over the last couple of years and some new ones that I've found that I really enjoy, you know. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Cool, man.
I won't use anything heavy because
Yeah.
you know, a lot of it or a heavy type oil, it tends to attract dust, and then you have a problem anyway.
Yeah, I can kind of mud. And that's why I've always cleaned my firearm. New firearms, I've always made it a personal rule just to take them apart and clean them because I've had things happen where I've had magazine springs that have been reversed or I've had something
Yeah,
not properly seated or what. 99% of the time, there's never a problem with a gun out of the box for me. But taking it apart, cleaning it, you know, it's always been kind of a thing, especially when I was buying some of those Taurus pistols, sorry, back in the day.
yeah,
Those would kind of come with like a heavy machine oil on them, almost like a friggin' motor oil that you have to wipe off of them, and they come saturated in the bag in the box. And sometimes the gun dealers would take them out and wipe them off and put them, you know, in the box without the bag. But I always noticed that I always wanted to do that because I always wanted to make sure everything was seated properly and everything was nice and lubed the way it's supposed to be. And kind of my own little philosophy on cleaning guns and stuff. So yeah.
Yep.
Tony York out there says my grandfather started me on Singer sewing machine oil. Yeah, I've heard about that. I've heard that that's actually one that you can use. So yeah.
Why not? It's pretty close to 3-in-1.
Well, yeah, exactly, right. Clover Tax says I only use non-gun product for rust removal. Mobile One with some quadruple steel wool, real light, then go over everything with an actual gun product. Okay, it's good to use. So Mobile One synthetic oil, I guess, is what we're talking about. Clover is like it's like a 1030. Is that what you're using? Or is it? I think Mobile One, they might only do synthetic or synthetic blend. But anyway, yeah, that sounds like it would work really well. I might need to use that on the high point because I'm debating what to do. Or I might just sand it down and just take the finish off because it's going to get painted anyway. It's just going to get like a woodland camo on it because it's a Gen 1 carbine, but it's been modified so much and drilled and tapped and torn apart. I don't really care about this point. So, yeah, a real shout out to my mom out there. She says, good morning, son. Hi, everybody. Have a great weekend. Be safe. Go Big Red to the Nebraska football and volleyball teams. We'll see what happens. I'm pretty hopeful the volleyball team is going to be okay, but the football team, that's a discussion for another day. So we'll see what we do. Go Big Red, everybody. So, yeah, there we go.
Hello, Mom.
Yeah. She's a big fan. So Clover Tax says, use a synthetic motor oil weight does not really matter because it doesn't stay. Just used to lubricate the steel wool for the rust removal, basically. Okay. Because I know, like, you know, 5W30, 10W30. It's a bigger deal when it's actually in the motor. So also joining us today, it's kind of a rare event. The bear has awoken. Defense Dad, how's it going? How you doing, man?
Not too bad. I'm usually getting ready for work this time.
I know, or you're just waking up like at halfway through the show. You're like, hey, what's going on, everybody? What'd I miss?
Well, I normally work at 10 o'clock on Saturdays. So I get up at like 8:20. But I'm day 2 of 3 days off with no kiddo.
Dude, what do you think of that? Isn't that kind of nice?
Yeah.
It's kind of like being single again, isn't it? So yeah, no kids, no responsibilities. It's just you and the world, man. I'm telling you. Cool, man. So yeah, Defense Dad, welcome. Anything you want to tell us? Anything new coming up on the channel or anything you've been working on or you know, any news you want to share with anybody?
Not really, man. I took over as manager about 5 months ago, and I've had one day off since then, a week. So I haven't had much time to do anything.
You got your kid, you know, you've got work. You're a busy man, you know. So that's yeah.
Now I'm back to 2 days a week, so I'm going to get some stuff going. But I'm more doing with the photography than the guns these days.
Okay. And I do want to give you a shout out for lending me your pistol for the cleaning video coming up and the range test. I'm going to be doing the SIG. Was it 938? Is that what it is? Got it in the gun safe over here. Okay.
Yep.
I've only shot it with you a couple times, you know, and just kind of playing around with it. But it'll be kind of fun to actually take it out and range test it and then do a nice little thorough cleaning video on it, and it'll be good. So we'll get it back to you, and you're all set to go. So you got to tell me, Defense Dad, is it Aegis? Aegis.
Yep.
I'm gonna remember that from here on out. I'll try not to say Aegis anymore. Again, apologies. I suck at pronouncing things sometimes. And yes, I'm a language teacher, but yeah, Aegis. Gotcha. All right. So we got that ready to go. Cool. Announcements I want to make here. So real quick, this is me giving you guys my 2-week notice that Caliber Corner will be ending with episode 300. It's something I've thought about for a very long time, put some months into thought on this. If I wanted to move the time or shift it around or whatever, I've just decided after about 6.5 years and 300 episodes, I'm going to go and shut her down. And we will come back for some impromptu episodes from time to time. But there's a lot of reasons why I want to do it. And I just want to talk about that real quick before we go into the cleaning video, because I don't want people to make assumptions or rumors to spread or anything like that. The big thing with me is just it's time. It's having time to go to the range. It's time to go hunting. It's time to get out, you know, do what I do. I've been trying to make fitness an important part of my life. Time to be with family. And since I moved to Lincoln, Nebraska, I'm much closer to my family now. So my family's needs have increased as they've gotten older. And again, I'm not just trying to come up with excuses. These are valid things that cause me from being able to do episodes on the weekends. And I hate having to delay the episodes. I don't want to do nightly episodes. There are a million great shows on in the evening, and I like to jump in those shows. You know, Christmas 740, Gizzard Gary, Clover Tack, Ghost Tactical, you know, G-Webs, those guys all inspired me to do Caliber Corner. You know, those guys having podcasts and the way that they run things, it also influences me too. But I've just decided I need the time on the weekends. I work, you know, Monday through Friday. I'm putting in over 40 hours a week. And also, it gets dark in Nebraska at like 5 o'clock for 6 months out of the year. So if I want to get out to the range, it has to happen on the weekends. And so these are all reasons why I need the time. I need the time in the morning so I can do stuff and get out and film. And then I do stuff with my family a lot. And then from a personal level, there's things that I do in my life and things that I'm working on also. So I like to have the time for myself. So, you know, yeah, Blue Steel out there. It's about time. It was a terrible show anyway. Hey man, I love you too. Come on, hug it out, bro. Hug it out. Hug it out. But, you know, we put a lot of knowledge out there. I've had an awesome dedicated panel. You know, every week I'd send out 44 invites and I'd have 5 or 6 show up. And I was thankful for the people that would be here. And it was a lot of fun. And those episodes will always be there for people. They're on multiple platforms. You can find me over on other places. You know, we're on Gunstreamer. We're on UGEtube. We're also on Odyssey. I've got all my episodes backed up. If anything ever happens, I can re-upload them if I need to. So, you know, it's just one of those things, you know. Yeah, Clover says, you know, doing content on the weekend sucks. And that's why I always took the 8 a.m. time slot, because nobody wanted it, right? It's an awful time to do a podcast because people are just kind of, and yeah. And so, I mean, I understand. And yeah, and I'm not saying that I wish I had more people on the show, but when it comes to family and me not even having kids, you know, I mean, the fact that I didn't is one of the reasons why I've had time to do it. But, you know, as my life has changed, I've wanted to kind of modify that. The second thing I want to say is that it's not about the money, because you guys can sit there and say, oh, he's just not making money off Caliber. Caliber Corner has never been a revenue generating show. So Foos, I'm going to mute you for a second here while I'm talking. It's the episodes. I tried monetizing Caliber Corner like in the first year, I think, and they would get knocked down to limited or no ads. And I just didn't I just didn't monetize them at all. You know, I'd get some super chats from time to time, and I've networked with people, and there's been sponsors that have seen this show. But in terms of the reason why not, if it was a money reason, I wouldn't have done it for 6.5 years, because it takes me time and money to do the show. And I mean, I could be doing other stuff, and I've been here with you guys and it's been fun. So, if it was about the money, why on earth would you do 300 freaking episodes? Clover, I'm just saying that so people don't say he's not doing it because he's not making any money from it. And that's just because money and selling ourselves and marketing has become such a big part of how channels get by these days. It's how they generate revenue and what they do for networking. But I just want to get that out there so it isn't somebody, and it's not burnout. It's not because I'm done talking about topics. I can talk about anything for days, right? But again, I want the time. I want to be able to get up and roll out of bed and go to the range or go get my hunting on or spend time with friends and family. So that's all it comes down to. That's really what it is. And you guys are my friends and family too. They've been with me the whole time. So yeah, I do enjoy that, Foos. You know, my health and fitness has been important. It's been important. You know, I've dropped almost 50 pounds in 3 months and I feel wonderful. My health was trash back in May. And so I wanted to take care of myself. I'm 46. So I just thought exercise is something I should really start to take serious, because the majority of the men on my father's side barely make it to 60 or 65. So I need to make sure I do something to take care of myself. So it's kind of waking up a little bit. But anyway, so Foos is here. Foos, let's just move on and get into the show and get things started. Foos, how you doing, man? What's up?
I'm doing well.
Yeah.
I'm heading out to the range, not to shoot, but to take measurements for a work party in a couple weeks.
Oh, really? Oh, are you're gonna have the party at the range?
Well, so it's a work party. Basically, it's going to be people, instead of shooting, we're going to be building props, building stuff for next year's matches.
Oh, cool. So, I gotcha. Okay. Nice.
All that good stuff.
I'm going to boost your mic a little bit. It's a little quiet. So,
sorry.
So we're here for the cleaning discussion, Foos, and we'll kind of round robin and just get everybody's little philosophy and take on cleaning. What you're going to find out about cleaning your firearms, it's a very personal thing, and everybody has their own feelings on how it works. So I would imagine that we're all going to agree to disagree on how we do it, because not all of us are going to follow the same method for cleaning our guns.
Travis?
Yeah, what's up?
You can just mute Foos because he doesn't clean his guns anyway. What's he going to contribute?
Well, that's why in the poll I put the category of what's gun cleaning. I put that up there so Foos could have something to identify with on the poll.
I was about to say, you guys are going to hate my cleaning
Oh, I knew exactly what you're going to say anyway. You'd say, I'll clean it when it quits running, basically.
Well, no, I clean it whenever I notice something different in the slide. And the only thing I put down a barrel, pistols, is another round. Like, I don't put anything down my barrels.
Oh, no, I know. And then, or if the springs would fail or the parts would fail. So, yeah.
You replace them when they fail.
Yep. But no, so anyway, and like I said, guys, you're going to discover that we all kind of have our own little philosophies on stuff and what we do. So we're going to get into that discussion. What is kind of your philosophy of gun maintenance, gun cleaning? And when I put these videos out here, I'll have a lot of first-time gun owners that'll leave comments and feedback on my videos. And maybe you guys like my videos, maybe you don't. I just put them out there. Part of it is, if I'm going to be cleaning the gun anyway, why don't we just go ahead and film it and make a video? Although it takes a lot of time to get those videos done, and the editing is okay, the audio is okay, but I do put those out there for people to use as a resource, and I think they do come in handy for people. Squibby, let's start off with you. What is your little philosophy on firearms cleaning? What are you you got to get it done after the range or within a certain amount of time, or do you let it sit for a while? Or I mean, I know like for a lot of guys with like a competition rifle, they'll clean it at the end of the season, or like a hunting rifle, they'll zero it, not clean the barrel out, maybe wipe it off, put it back in the gun safe till season starts. What is your philosophy on gun care? What do you do?
Do what you want.
No, but what do you do?
I used to be somebody who religiously cleaned them after every range trip. Yeah. And that's because that's the way I was trained. It works. And it's not like gun oil is expensive or anything, right?
Yeah.
My schedule got to where I was lucky to have time to go to the range, let alone clean. And it seems to have gotten worse and worse over the years. I mean, I enjoy reloading. I'm lucky to get 1 or 2 reloading sessions in a year. You saw me at Thunder on the Prairie cleaning my BM59 on a picnic table in the heat with the bugs
dying
and the glare of the sun because I didn't have time to clean it before I got out there. And then I think I screwed something up when I put the stock back on because the magazines were not coming out.
Mm-hmm.
End up scuffing up the stock in 2 spots trying to get the magazines to come out because I think I just didn't line something up. The rifle functioned, but I'm sure if I took the time to slowly take it apart and take a look at it and work on it there, I'd figure out what I just rushed and did. And cleaning guns is not something that is should be rushed. It's kind of nice to just sit there afterward, and especially like if you got something on TV or something and you just kind of lay things out on the living room floor or wherever you get the table or what have you, or put on a show or something in the background and just take your time and clean the stuff. Or if it's really messy, maybe on the back deck or wherever you clean your guns, your kitchen counter is that's a roomy counter. I mean, that's a good place to clean whatever it is, but just take your time and clean, but I just don't. I seriously don't. I've had a gummed up action on my Henry because I didn't clean it for a year, and trying to cycle rounds was an issue. I've had like the whole Thunder on the Prairie thing, just no time, and
yeah.
So I've got stuff that is sitting in the safe that needs to be cleaned. I could spend an entire day doing it, but honestly, I have more important things to do. It's just like sighting in my rifles.
If I was retired, I would do like on-site cleaning for you guys and make the videos and stuff because it's so cool being able to borrow guns from people and make the clean videos. And yeah.
Well, it's kind of what it sounds like is figure out the level of dirtiness your gun can withstand, and always have it clean, and always have it cleaner than that.
No,
however that is.
See, that's just it. It's like I'm not one of these people who says I never clean my guns. I should be able to run dirty no matter what. No, I mean certain guns run better dirty. They continue to run dirty, and other ones don't. Like a AR-15 is a jam-o-matic if you let it get dirty. It just is. That's the way it is, right? And some guns are easier to clean than others. They are, and that sort of thing. But honestly, it's just my own fault that my stuff is dirty. I don't like it being dirty, but I'm also not there going, oh my goodness, they're sitting in the safe dirty. What do I don't care. I just don't. I honestly, going to the range has been a hassle. Even trying to film anything with guns has been a hassle. It's just, it takes a lot more out of my time than I'm really willing to put into it. I've got 2 rifles that I use for deer hunting. They should still be zeroed from last year. I need to get down to the range. I need to verify that they're still zeroed. If they're not, I need to adjust them. I should still have leftover reloads from a couple years ago for one and reloads from last year for the other. If not, I need to blow the dust off the reload bench and get down there and make up some. I've got everything I need. I've got, everybody during the shortages, they're going, man, you can't find primers anywhere. And I'm sitting on thousands.
You need to prioritize. You need to prioritize.
I've actually
focus on what's important, one little project at a time.
I've taken a sleeve of primers and gone and blown the dust because so it just doesn't, for me, it's about time. And any of this gun stuff just isn't important to me. So I don't, but back when I did make time for it, it was after every range trip. I don't care if you clean your guns or you don't clean your guns. I care about what I do with my guns. Other people, I got to have them ready to go at a moment's notice. Hey man, if that's your thing, that's your thing. Or I don't ever clean them. They run better dirty. That's your thing. I honestly don't care.
It really does kind of depend on the platform because, I like my Shadow 2 could do 1,000 rounds like it did on Thunder on the Prairie right before I cleaned it. But then I've got I had my little Jimenez A22 that would, malfunction after like 100 rounds, or my R. Rossi RS22s that could go a little while, but then they start to have issues, or like what Tony says, the Marlin 60s will malfunction with a fairly low shot count. You'll need to discover that as the gun owner, what kind of maintenance the gun needs. Read the manual, obviously, right? That'll tell you what they recommend.
And just because Travis's Shadow 2 will run 1,000 rounds before it starts coming up does not mean that my Shadow 2 won't run 10,000 or 500. It's what each individual gun likes. So figure out what your gun can take and then make sure it's cleaner however it is. Like if it starts to let's say you're shooting X gun and it starts to fail at 500 once a mag, but it still runs okay till 1,500. If you're okay with messing with it once a mag, okay, 1,500 is your limit. But if it's I want it to work every time, 500 is your limit, and just keep it as clean as the gun's needed. If you don't have time, if you have time and you want to do it, every range trip, like the only thing you're going to do is like I wouldn't put stuff down the barrel just because of wearing the rifling out, because there are rifles that have worn rifling out due to cleaning and due to chemicals.
Yeah, you don't want to go too crazy on them when you do it. I mean, especially if you're using like your solvents. I don't know. I mean, I guess that could happen. I mean, it just kind of depends on how aggressive you are with the cleaning routine and stuff. Are you running your brush down the bore, like 20 times in a row until that sucker's just squeaky clean? Or are you putting your barrel solvents down the barrel? So yeah. Clovertac makes a really good point here. 22 LR in general, Tony, it fails at lower round counts. Rimfire is just a dirty birdie. Clover, I agree totally. I've yet to find and I'm sure there's somebody out there who goes, well, my 1022 hasn't been cleaned in 50 years. Now, I will say this, Clovertac, the Browning buckmark that Defense said, you could probably attest to this. There's a Browning buckmark that they have in Nebraska shooters, and they call it Harry Potter. And the reason why they call that Browning buckmark target model Harry Potter is because anybody that tries to qualify with the pistol for the NRA class that fails in the qualifying shoot, where you have to put so many rounds within a certain size circle at a certain distance with a certain size group, they all qualify with Harry Potter with this gun. And I asked Justin, the owner of Nebraska, of the gun range. I said, hey, how often do you clean this thing? And he's like, I don't. He goes, we'll put a little CLP on the bolt and just keep running it. And I'm like, because we probably put like all of us using it to qualify for that NRA class, because I ended up having to fall back on it because I was getting the shakes and my PDP was not keeping the rounds tight enough. I used that buckmark, and sure enough, man, I had a nice tight group, and she didn't malfunction once at all. She had no trouble at all. So Harry Potter has just never been clean. Now that's a magical gun. That thing is blessed and magical, but most of us don't get that kind of luck with our 22s. The 22 LRs tend to need a little more maintenance in order to run properly, maybe even a cleaning before you take them out. So you've got, generous lube, say on the bolt, possibly. I don't know. But then again, I say that and then people start freaking out. It's like, well, your bolt's going to get dirty if you got too much oil on it. There's never a happy answer for gun clean. Let's just get that out right now.
I've tried to buy that gun off him a couple times, and he just laughs.
Dude, that magical buckmark, that thing is so nice. Like it was awesome. It was so awesome. What makes me mad is like the next day I went to my own range and took that NRA target and stood at the distance that we had to qualify at. And my PDP had this just delicious tight group, just no shots out of the ring. I would have qualified with it the first time. It makes me mad. But hey, Harry Potter didn't let me down. So, all right, New York Outcast, Rob, what is your philosophy on cleaning firearms, man? What do you think?
All right. I've been thinking about this for a minute, how to sum it up a little differently.
That's why you came here today, is to share with us your philosophy on cleaning. You're going to set the record straight right now. What is Rob's philosophy on firearms maintenance and cleaning?
Well, I try to do this in a manner I don't offend anybody or anything like that. I'm not trying to do that, but I don't know. I think it is. I mean, like Squid was saying, you're trained that way initially, but I wouldn't just say it's that. I could state the same thing with my power tools, hand tools. I use them on a job. They get messed up when I get back. Sometimes it's 2 jobs later in that sense because it's just back to back, but I clean everything up, blow everything out, lube things. It's just normal practice. When it comes to firearms, to me, I look at firearms as a tool. Could be a life or death situation. Usually is. Thankfully, most times it's a range trip. It's something like that. It's not a life or death situation, I should state, but it could be. So I don't take any chances. I think anybody's serious in their craft is disciplined enough to handle their tools, whether that's a sword, whether that's a saw, whether that's a gun, whatever it is. It's not just about you and your comforts. It could be about your neighbor. It could be about somebody you never even met. I don't know. But if that time comes, you want the best possibility, the most odds to your favor. So personally, I don't care what people do, unless you're backing me up. Then I'm going to care. If you never clean your gun, we're going to have a problem, personally. That's just because the odds are down in your favor. They could be higher. You're putting yourself at risk. You're putting me at risk, or whoever. But as far as normal stuff, people do it's your life. It's your butt on the line, so, that's up to you. I want the best odds possible. And if somebody's depending on me, I should do the best possible to be adequate for any situation that arises. That's just how that's how I look at guns in general. It's not a status symbol. It's not a toy. It's a tool for a job. There's other stuff you can do with that. You can make videos, you can try to educate, you can bring people in, but in the end, I need it to work. If it doesn't work, I don't even want it in my house. Like, I'm that serious. Like, I because somebody else might grab a gun and it doesn't work. And there's conversation about it lately, but guns should work. If you're going to have them, you should be willing to use them. Or else you might as well just hand them over to people to use against
paperweight at that point. If you're not going to use it,
I don't do it. It's not something to threaten. It's not something
you
to
should brand. With it. You should shoot it. You should be comfortable with it. You need the right mindset that you may have to use it at some point. And who knows how people are going to act, but still.
I mean, that's just my situation. So my thoughts. I don't shame anybody. I mean, if you're claiming to be somebody that provides protection for somebody else and you don't, I would talk crap about you personally, because I feel you're so stuck in your ways, confident that you're willing to risk somebody else's safety, and that's shouldn't be allowed in your job, personally. But that's just me. But the average guy, I got nothing to say, and that's on you. As far as the 22 things, yes, they're dirtier, but I can vouch, at least for my own experience, that I've ran at least a couple thousand rounds over a weekend with no problems. But that's just my individual case, and that's cheap bulk ammo. So, but I wouldn't state that's going to be the case for every gun or every ammo, every situation. Maybe you can get more, maybe you can get less. But I think 22 gets a bad rap because the average person lies and they really don't clean their guns like they should. If you keep them clean, they don't give you problems.
So it doesn't work. It's like, well, I wiped it out. I wiped the receiver out. It should be running. And find it, and like the bolts all mucked up, and there's stuff built up around the front of the chamber and things like that. So
Now, when you speak of like a deer rifle, something longer range, I mean, if you clean it regularly, you don't have to get crazy with solvents. I mean, it literally takes a third of the time it would. You don't have to wait for stuff to dissolve, put timeline. Watch your clock, go ahead, wipe everything down 20 times and all. You don't need to do all that because you have a lot less residue built up. So therefore, damaging rifling thing is going to be a lot less than, at least, my thinking of it. So you stay on top of it. it doesn't become a big problem. You know, so I don't know, but you know, it's just my style. I also believe in preventative maintenance with auto stuff. You know, so if your battery's warranted for 3 years or 5 years, and you need to, and you're skeptical, just change it. You know, why wait until you're stuck outside of the store somewhere? Just change it now. Yeah, but you know, there's different forms how people do things. So
yeah, it depends on the gun.
Anybody's wrong, unless others are depending on you. Then you could be wrong. You might be screwing up. But you know, other than that, yeah, it's America. Do what you like.
Right on. All right, Defense Dad, what about you? What's your philosophy on cleaning your firearms? What do you think?
I'm gonna say it kind of depends on the gun. Ideally, you clean it every time you shoot it.
Okay.
In the real world, sometimes I don't have time to do that. If I shoot 22, it's there's no getting around it. It's a dirtier round, so I clean that every time. Especially if it's my grandpa's old Ruger, I want to preserve that. My daughter's TX22, I always clean that because that's her gun, and I don't want to have any malfunctions. Anything I'm carrying at the time, point blank, if I even shoot a mag through that just to cycle rounds, that gun gets cleaned. And honestly, this is going to sound totally tinfoil hat, but if I'm ever in a situation where there's something happens and I can show without a doubt my gun has not been fired. And I know that's tinfoil hat, but I honestly don't care. It's my habit. You guys can say what you want, but But other than that, you know, if I go the round and I shoot 50 to 100 rounds out of a 9mm, and I know I'm going to shoot it within the next couple of weeks, I probably don't clean that every time. Unless I just have a lot of free time. But between work and kids and trying to do everything else, sometimes they don't get cleaned right away.
And again, the thing is here, all of us do clean our firearms. I think that's probably the most important thing that people need to remember. You know, some of us have a higher round count than others before we do that. Clover, you know, makes a pretty good point. Clover, you were saying that, you know, you can clean it, but you also want to make sure it's going to function. So it's okay to shoot it after you clean it to verify the gun's going to run. So that way, you know, it's going to run hot rounds when it needs to. That's not a bad idea. It's a very good idea, actually. And Clover also says, I don't do wall hangers or whatever. If I own it, it can shoot. If I can't repair it or whatever, it gets traded off. Yeah, I don't blame you there either, man. There isn't much that I don't. In fact, most of the firearms that I have, I've got some sort of intent or purpose for that particular gun. Maybe that's just what I use to justify it. I have bought some guns just because I wanted to, for the sheer enjoyment of buying it, or just because I felt like it, or I didn't need a reason. But I try to have something that has some sort of intended use for it, whether it's home defense, or maybe it's an SHTF gun, or maybe it's a goose gun, or it's a turkey gun, or it's a deer rifle, or whatever, right? So yeah, I try to have some kind of mindset with the guns and keep them all clean. But yeah, your ammo can have a huge impact on your reliability. The ammo itself could you know, like how dirty the ammo makes your gun, that could really have a huge impact on the interval between cleaning, because some ammos are dirtier than others. And the ammo itself, that might have trouble functioning in your gun. Your gun may not like it. We're not really going to have a steel case versus brass case ammo discussion today. If your gun will run steel case and you're okay with it, you do whatever you want. I put plenty of, you know, steel case rounds through my Bear Creek Arsenal 223 that I bought, or 5.56 that I bought, 8 years ago, and the thing runs steel like it's no problem. But I don't really run it through other guns. So you'll find out what ammo works best for you and what the cleaning intervals would be. I would just recommend cleaning your firearm after every range trip. That's just me. Just because that way you can inspect it and make sure it's ready to go. It's going to run. It's going to be there for you if you need it. It's not going to have any problems. And last but not least, single shot. What's kind of your philosophy on cleaning? What do you think, single shot?
Well, I am quite adamant about keeping them clean, so they get cleaned every time I use them. The thing that haven't been mentioned about is black powder. You don't clean them, you're not going to have a firearm, because it's going to corrode that thing completely to pieces.
That might need to be next week's chat, just because the whole black powder maintenance, after shooting the black powder, after Squib teaching me how to run my black powder revolver for the first time and how to take it apart and clean it properly, that's a whole nother ball game, man. The way that I do that is a very different idea versus what I do with my smokeless powder firearms, you know?
Right.
I agree totally. Yeah. So your idea on that.
You got to clean them things. There's no fire in them things. You're putting them into a safe or a closet for a year.
Yeah.
Because like I said, you're not going to have a firearm when you go to pick it up again. It's just one of those things that I was taught many years ago. I've always handed it off to people that in the family that have shown interest in shooting and stuff like that. or anything else, really. Like was mentioned, you got to take care of stuff if you buy it, hand tools, power tools, vehicles, whatever. You got to maintain it because it takes that level of commitment to be able to have that thing working when it's supposed to. So yeah, I'm very adamant. Sometimes I'll let them go for a little bit on the range, until I get home. Then it's cleanup time.
Yeah.
And that's when I get busy and the stuff gets cleaned. I clean it all downstairs if I use the range downstairs. My brother will do the opposite. He'll leave it dirty. And that's him. If that's the way he wants to do it, that's all well and good. But myself, personally, they're going to get cleaned and taken care of. Because going through that fire and seeing what that stuff can do when it gets on those firearms, it's a big.
Yeah.
If you don't, I just got very.
Hey, single shot, you're breaking up there at the end, buddy. All right. Clovertax says, so I verified that Aegis works well for black powder, but the old go-to is Ballistol water mix 5 parts to 1. So yeah, and I do have a black powder revolver cleaning video that I did put up in my cleaning videos. It's also on my channel if you guys want to check it out. If you're curious about what Squib showed me and talked me through for taking the revolver apart and cleaning it properly. And it did sit for an entire year before I took it out again, and I had no rust, no issues with it since we took it out the first time. So yeah. Tony says Dawn and water is all I used in the black powder days. Clover also says that cleaning black powder can be very, very tough.
Dawn and water.
Yep, you have to get inventive in making tools to get it done unless you want to spend big money on tools and gear. There are so many little tools and accessories that you can spend your money on for cleaning black powder or maintaining black powder. There seems like if there's an inconvenience at all about anything that has to do with black powder guns, somebody has made a tool to sell you that'll make that inconvenience go away. Whether it's loading the primers or having little funny, little brushes to get in certain areas,
I'm going to say that only is if you take the nipples off the cylinder every time. Some people do. Some people take them off and clean them every time, and some people don't. I'm one of the people that doesn't, because then you're going to need a couple different nipple wrenches, and sometimes the better ones can be a little bit pricey or something like that.
Well, I'm just saying, when you go to Shield Squid, there's a wall of accessories for black.
Yeah, but a lot of that is crap.
It's garbage. Morons like me that buy it because I want something that makes it easier to take my grip screws off. So I'm just being ridiculous here. I'm just saying that's.
Okay. Don't get me wrong. Some people will take a black powder revolver all the way down to every single screw and put it in an ultrasonic cleaner. At that point, you're spending money for the ultrasonic cleaner. Yeah. You're going to want the they're called hollow ground, I think. The cut on the blade of the flathead screwdriver. I've got a bunch of them. Those are kind of pricey, right?
Yeah.
If you want, you do not have to strip it down to a frame. That's a preference. It's just like the other stuff we're talking about with clean. It's, I do it this way for me. You do your thing, right? Some people want, and there's nothing wrong with stripping it down to a frame. Don't get me wrong, but you're going to pay at that point. If you just want a black powder that you're going to take out there and shoot with black powder and Pyrodex, and you just want to clean it, hot water, Dawn dish soap, some Q-tips, and a few other things. If you want to go to that extra effort, it's not going to hurt it. It's not a bad idea. But if you don't, it'll be fine. It really will.
Oh yeah. All right, let's see. MC says, I bought several blued guns from an uncle that's a farmer and replaced existing guns with stainless models because he didn't clean and oil properly. I got good deals that needed elbow grease. So yeah. All right. Let's see. So let's just kind of talk about it a little bit. Preferred cleaners and so on. And I will be showing off my Aegis kit that I have because I've been putting it in my videos recently. What I like about this, and again, this is kind of my little sales pitch here, is you get everything in one little bundle. You buy it, it's done. Everything you need is in the kit. And that's what I really liked about the kit that he just sent me to use, because I've gone multiple times to the store to go buy one particular part or one little thing. It's nice to be able to buy it and have the majority of the popular calibers in one little bundle. When it comes to cleaner, what I like about the Aegis cleaner and the lubricant, I really enjoy the degreasing properties of the cleaner. You spray it on, you wipe it off. It's super easy. And then you've got the lubricant. You put the lubricant on. Obviously, you spray it on and let it soak in, follow the instructions. And then the lubricant, couple drops on it, and then just wipe it off with a patch, and you're basically ready to go. I did put a little bit extra oil on certain parts like the rails or the top of the barrel, parts that have that high wear area. And that's another thing too. If you're new to guns and you're watching this video, there's things you can start to look for when you take your firearms apart. you'll start to see excessive wear, or not excessive wear. You start to see the finish wearing off under the gun. That's normal. The gun's a tool. It's meant to be used. It's going to wear out as you use it. You might start to notice some wear marks on the slide or on the rails, or some wear marks on top of the barrel or underneath. Those are areas where obviously you want to make sure you've got lubricant. You want to follow your manual, because your instruction manual is going to tell you where to lubricate and where not to lubricate, and so on. And again, I'm trying to think of questions that people have asked me, like, what gun cleaner do you use, or where do you buy this, or how do you do this? And the biggest complaint that I get from people, and I try to say this in the video, and I don't think people ever actually hear this when I do my cleaning videos. I'm like, if there's any excess of oil when you're done cleaning your gun, wipe off the excess of oil. You don't need an excess of oil. And I'm big on lubricating guns, because many times mine will sit in a safe for 1 to 2 years before I shoot them again. So I want to make sure they've got stuff on there that's going to protect them. And I probably do overdo the oil, but I've never been able to make a cleaning video where somebody hasn't complained about either too much oil or not enough oil. Because I mean, that's just kind of what I deal with by putting that type of media out there, and I'm used to it at this point. I like to make sure that the wear areas do have proper lubricant. I always follow what the manuals say, but it always seems like I can never seem to get it right for people. Plus, people don't get this. I wear rubber gloves when I do cleaning videos. No matter what you touch, no matter how much you wipe those gloves off, you just get oil everywhere. It just happens. When I'm done holding the gun off, when I'm done cleaning it, people are like, "Oh my God, it's just dripping." Well, yeah, that's just kind of the nature of the beast when you make a cleaning video. But I do wipe off any excess, and I say that in every video, but people don't seem to notice it. But what I do like about the Aegis lubricant, what's really cool about it, it's not super runny, it's not super thick, it's not like juicy where it just goes all over the place when you put it on. It's got the perfect viscosity, and I like that. I notice that when I clean the Taurus. And the Taurus pistols are usually pretty dirty when they come from the factory. And it did a great job, just basically the cleaner as a degreaser, wiping it off and then putting the lubricant on, and it was good to go. Before that time, you know, I had used Ballistol that Squibb got for me, because I swear to God I couldn't find it in Nebraska anywhere. They finally have it now. I did find there was a can that was turned around at Cheels, and I thought that looks like Ballistol, and so I turned the can around, and sure enough, it was Ballistol. So there was one facing a Ballistol at Cheels. It was one of those things that you just don't find on the stores in Nebraska. I don't know what the problem is. Maybe I'm looking in the wrong place, but it's just not there. Squibb might have had something to do with that. I don't know. Rem oil was something I used when I first started making my videos, and then I switched over to Safariland CLP, which has been fine. I used Cleanse oil for a couple of years. I really did enjoy it. But Cleanse oil is fine. Okay. But what I like about the Aegis system, it really does a good job getting the muck out of the gun, and then you can lubricate it to the point that you want it. You can get it oiled properly. And that's what I like about it. More things in the kit. We'll kind of talk about, you know, some of our tools here real quick. Round robin, preferred gun oil, Squibb. What is your preferred gun lubricant? What's your go-to? Do you do a CLP? Do you do a two-step process? Are you a Hoppies guy? What do you use? I'm just curious, right? What do you do?
I don't have one.
Well, what's like? Do you just grab whatever when it comes time to clean the guns? Is that pretty much it?
Here's the thing with gun oils. With me, I'm not partial to one brand or another. As much as I'm brand loyal and things like that, I've probably got 30 different oils, 20 different cleaners, and a handful of preservatives. And some of that stuff will double or triple as some things. For example, some of you guys clean with Rem oil. I do not clean with Rem oil. I use that as a lubricant, and I mostly use it at the range if the firearm jams, or if I'm pulling a rifle out of the safe real fast to take it to the range, and it's been sitting in there for years. I just spray the action with it, but I don't use it as a cleaner. It's not a cleaner. Other people would say this is a cleaner, or just some of the other things that some people use that might work for them. I just don't use, but I'm not partial to one brand or another. I had a gun oil company contact me, and they said, "We'd like you to try out our product." And they said, "It's made in America, it's veteran owned, and it cost about this much for this size bottle." And they wanted me to do a positive review. They said, "We'll give you a free sample for you, and then a free sample to give away to somebody who watches your channel. But you have to do a positive review." Oh, yeah. And I said, "Hold up, dude. I'm not going to guarantee you a positive review."
There's a difference between a fair review demand from a vendor and a positive review. So, you know.
And I said, "Here's the thing. I can go out there right now and find 30 bottles of gun oil that are made in America by a veteran that cost about this much for this size. What sets yours apart?" He wouldn't return. He wouldn't respond. About a week or so later, one of my friends made a video, and I'm going, "Oh yeah, he contacted him too." And this stuff might have been good stuff. It really might have been good stuff. I don't know, and I never will. Most of the time when somebody pushes that product, I won't use it. I've found out on my own over the decades what works and what doesn't. If I recommend something, it's because it works, but it's not because it's my favorite. I don't have a one favorite. I use Lucas. I use Frog Lube. Some people can't stand Frog Lube.
Yeah, you've given me the SIG
Yeah.
Brandon Lucas gun
Yeah,
oil. I've tried that before too. The Ballistol.
CLP, Ballistol. Ballistol was one of the ones I didn't want to use for the longest time because I never heard of this crap, and it's been around since the 19th century. It had a different name back then, but I never wanted you. It sounded just the name.
Well, see, I started watching one of my earliest channels I watched was called the Armory Channel, Pete at the Armory Channel. He's been around for a very long time. I love his channel. He's one of the first channels I started watching that really kind of reeled me into making gun videos. He's been a Ballistol nut. And I mean, like, I didn't even, in the town that I lived in, I couldn't find Ballistol anywhere. I'm like, what is this Ballistol of which you speak? So I'd use Rem oil because it's what Walmart had, right? And then I switched over to CLP, Safariland. So.
Well, a couple of the channels, I can only think of one channel that was sponsored by Ballistol, and I don't necessarily, I'm not against what the guy does because he's sponsored by a bunch of different companies. I think he's honest for other reasons, not because of who sponsors him. But he was pushing it a lot, and I'm like, eh. Then a couple smaller channels that weren't sponsored, that should be sponsored by Ballistol, were recommending it. And I trust what these guys say because they've said other things, and I'm like, these guys know what they're talking about as far as firearms and maintenance and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I finally decided to get this stuff a try, and I'm like, okay, it works. Is it the best? No. But then I tried it on black powder. I'm like, oh wow, this stuff really.
Yeah, Clover had mentioned. I think did he say Ballistol works on?
Yeah.
You
mix Ballistol with water as a cleaner, but I've used Ballistol.
Grab my grease.
To
Go ahead and talk.
I've sprayed my black powder revolvers with it after the range, and not got back to cleaning them for days or weeks, and it's neutralized the corrosive properties of the black powder or the Pyrex. So we used to use I used to use Windex as my quick little, I'm not going to get to this for a couple days. Ballistol actually lasts longer than Windex as far as breaking that stuff down. Okay, great. But is it the best gun cleaners, the best gun oil? No, it's really no better than CLP or Lucas or some of the other ones out there, or Hoppy's number 9 or Hoppy's number 9.
It's just kind of, if Dad used it's what I use. And there's so many times that's the truth, whether it's the Pennzoil in our car, right? Or it's the or it's the gun oil that Dad used. It's like we're just kind of brainwashed it sometimes.
And I'm a lot more brand loyal when it comes to lubricants for a vehicle than I am for my guns. If it works, if I've been using it and it works, then I use it. If I've tried it and it didn't work, or it's something that really isn't meant to be a gun oil, like WD-40 is not meant to be a gun oil. Motor oil is not meant to be a gun oil. It's not. If you use it, that's your prerogative. It's your gun. I don't care. Just certain things aren't meant to be a gun oil.
Yeah.
And certain other things, gun oils will work for in household use, stuff like that. But I'm just not loyal to any one or another. If you see me using something, you see something in the background on my reload bench, it's because it works, not because it's the best. It's because it's not the worst. How's that?
Oh yeah. Razor JB says, I'm like Squib. I don't really care about oils for the most part. However, after using Aegis in humidity, cold and wet climate, as well as running my own tests, pouring the lubricant in water with, and he goes on and kind of got cut off there. Razor JB, I think it also made some comments on my videos earlier. Yeah, one of the things I like about Aegis is the weather resistance of that particular lubricant. That's because being in Nebraska, we'll have high temperatures of 115 degrees without heat index. We'll have humidity. Then in the wintertime, we'll have sub-zero temperatures. So I like to have a lubricant or protectant that I know is going to be good 4 seasons out of the year, that's going to handle the extremes and so on. And that's another thing too that'll be interesting to see how Aegis performs in the wintertime. Now, after speaking with the owners or the owner of the co-owner of Aegis Gun Care, he had mentioned the testing they had done on it, the temperature resistance, and that's good with me. I've never had a gun lock up. I've run into some issues with guns in heavy winter weather while doing different hunts, but I've never tried Aegis in the wintertime. So I'm looking forward to seeing how it works. We'll get the gun lubed up. We'll maybe set it out on the balcony and let it, sit overnight, and then take it to the range and see if it'll function, or drop it in the snow, or maybe do like a ghost tactical torture test or something on the gun and see how it runs. But I mean, granted, there's a million things that can stop a firearm, but still, yeah. That's again, one of the reasons why I've been looking at Aegis, is because I wanted to talk to the company and see if I could work with them, and then just go with one product that I can just basically use for a very long time. Right. Jay Hike says, I used 3-in-1 oil on my cap guns as a kid. So there you go. Tony says WD-40 is a decent cleaner outside the bore. Yeah. It's not like you can't use it. I mean, it would work, And a lot of people, it's just, well, I use WD-40 because Dad used it on squeaky hinges. It's got to work on my gun. Right. That's kind of the philosophy that people have out there. Razor JB says, my wife used Aegis lubricant for 3 Ironman races on her bike when sweat and rain are really bad, and the oil stayed on and was phenomenal. On the chain, I think is what Razor JB is talking about. Squibload says, in my opinion, there is no one the best gun oil out there. Everybody wants to be the best, right? Let's see here. Squib says, if a channel is sponsored by lubricant and calls it the best, I'm more than likely to never purchase it. Yeah. And again, let me just say this right now. I'm not officially sponsored by Aegis. I've got an affiliate link. In fact, I've even bought products from them myself after I got the link. I've got the discount code for you guys. But I mean, they're not supplying me the case as a cleaner. They gave me some bottles. We're testing it. We're trying it out. I want to develop a relationship with the company because I use a lot of cleaning products. I do consume a lot. So it's nice to work with them, but I'm not saying I'm not on their payrolls. Okay. But I do have the affiliate link, and whatever that generates is whatever generates. So yeah.
If you can save your viewers some money on a product they were going to buy anyhow, or you're able to actually show it being used. Okay. How many of you have seen the videos where the person is there holding up the thing going, this is, and you never see them use it, right? If I said this is the best shot glass ever, but you never see me take a shot out of it, how are you ever going to trust it?
Best shot glass ever.
Yeah. I've seen that, it's like, or buy the crap off my web store. And they're never wearing it. They're never holding it. It's never in the background. It's like, really, dude? So I think that if you use this stuff,
I'll be back.
Especially if you run it at the range under certain environments, you take it out hunting, something like that, you can report back and say, I've had good results with it. It works. If you want to try it out yourself here, you can save 10%. That's one thing. But when you're just literally standing in front of the camera going, dude, this is the best. You've got to have this. There is no other. This is the one. Nothing else. And there's a difference between sharing your experience with the audience, whether you're paid or not, or just saying it, but nobody ever actually sees you drink it.
Sorry to be unprofessional there. That was my son barking in the background. So he heard a person walking by. So his alert had to go off. But no, you got a good point. It's like, I want to see it. And that's why I'm also using it in these videos, showing you that I do. Talking about it, and again, and the other thing too, I got to be honest, there's a lot of peer pressure from Ghost and from Clover and from Gun Snob and Gary, these guys showing these products and talking about how awesome they are. And I trust these guys because I've been watching them for years and listening to them, and I know them. And if something works good, I want it to work good. I want it to protect my firearm. I want it to function when it needs to. So that's another reason why I decided to go ahead and give Aegis a shot and just try it out and see how it works, because again, I've been using Cleanse Oil for a long time, but I'd also been buying a lot of bottles from Cleanse Oil too. And I wasn't sponsored from them, didn't have an affiliate link, didn't have a discount code. So I just decided to switch over to Aegis and give a smaller company a chance and just try the product. And I've been really happy with it. So MC says perhaps the best gun oil is the oil that actually gets used versus doing zero maintenance. Somebody had put a quote up there. I think it said, where's that at? Somebody said, if it rubs, use oil. Okay. If it slides, use grease. So grease, lithium grease, when you use grease, you don't want to overdo it. Obviously, you want to apply the thin coat to the parts that need it based off of what your instruction manual says. I've always used lithium grease grease in general on the bolt carrier groups of my AKs and my SKS parts, anything that's very heavy into the contact. Otherwise, I've basically just used basic lubricant always on my ARs. I've never had a problem with the bolt carrier group like seizing or having problems or failing or whatnot. So just using basic, lubricant stuff has worked out really well. New York Outcast, what is your go-to gun cleaning product? What do you like to use, Outcast?
All right, I'm probably the oddball because I'm
olive oil,
cheap son of a gun. No,
Pennzoil, homemade, something homemade, right?
No, that'd be funny, but no, CLP.
Okay,
I've used it forever. It's worked, and with a lot heavier stuff than what I tend to use, firearms or whatever. I don't know how to really term that, but basically, I don't know. The price is right. You can get it in large jugs. It's basically available everywhere. I'll hit the price again. It's very cheap, very affordable. I buy cans at a time. I'm still on cans I bought years ago, technically. So, to me, I'm not going to say there isn't anything better. I'm sure there's worse. I wouldn't call it the best. I just know it works and the price is right. So why mess around? I'm iffy on some other cleaners. I mean, I've used other ones. Don't get me wrong. That's something I should state. I've used a few others. M Pro. There's a couple I don't know. I didn't want to name everything off, but I haven't noticed much of a difference, honestly. You know, I haven't tested everyone in the same conditions that I've personally been in with CLP, but nothing I've used so far. I'm just like, oh my goodness, like I gotta just the heck with. I'm throwing my CLP out. Nothing's impressed me. And then, you know, not to be negative, but anything where I got to put extra steps in, that makes me wonder too. If I got to put extra steps in and pay more money, it's probably just not going to happen. It's just really not, being honest, unless it's one of them night and day. And I'm just like, I don't know how I survived without it, you know, situations but I'm cheap, you know, that's just me. So if it works, why mess with it? Unless it's an upgrade or you're saving money, why change it? You know, that's just me.
Yeah. Oh no, I agree. And with me, it's just been kind of this interest in trying different products after using so many different products over so many years and so many different years, you know, and I noticed that some products would require a lot more because then you take the gun out and it'd be totally dry. It's like, man, I lubricated the heck out of this thing and there's nothing there. Maybe I can't see it, but it's like, there's nothing visibly there. So is it can actually lubricate when I take it out to the range or spend a whole day with it at, you know, like a shooting class, or do I need to add more? So to me, I'm always trying to look for a product that's gonna, you know, keep it's gonna hold its lubricating ability. It's not gonna dry out or, you know. So I did try frog lube once on one of my guns, but what's up?
You've got the advantage of where you're at. You can test this stuff in the winter where it's sub-zero, and you can test this stuff in the summer where it's 100 degrees. You guys get humidity there. You don't get Texas humidity, but you get humidity, right? But you've got the temperature extremes. I mean, look at what happened at Thunder on the Prairie. It was sunny and hot and humid out, and we're letting our guns set out there. They're all dark colored guns. They're absorbing that heat. And I think the heat had something to do with some of the malfunctions we had.
Several guns fail at Thunder on the Prairie all across the board, you know.
Well, they're sitting out in the sunlight for 8 hours.
Our ammo was sitting out in extreme heat. It was 100 degrees out. It was humid. Our guns were sitting in direct sunlight. We had ARs fail. We had pistols fail. And like you said before, I think a lot of guys maybe hadn't cleaned their firearms before they left to come to Thunder on the Prairie, you know, and because of that, they wouldn't function. They were dirty, you know. Yeah.
I think somebody in Alaska is going to have a kind of a unique perspective, even though they get, you know, they get some heat in the summer and stuff like that. They're going to have maybe colder temperatures longer, or maybe somebody up in Minnesota is going to be colder there than Michigan, right? Or somebody in Florida with humidity, or Texas or Georgia with humidity. They might have specific things, but certain places in America, you're going to get that wider temperature range. So if you can say, I started using this in the fall, and then, you know, a year from now, you say, all right, it did this, it did that, it didn't do this, it didn't do that over the course of the year. I think that's giving the information that somebody's looking for more so than I took it out once, I used it, slam dunk, you know?
Yeah. The one gun that didn't fail, though, at Thunder on the Prairie was the High Point 10mm. Everybody made fun of it, but nobody could stop it. The one gun to shut everybody up. It's like, oh, thing's a piece of crap. And boom, it burned through a whole mag. And then their custom build, whatever, would lock up or not function. So, yep. That is Squib. Once you figured out the manual of arms, the gun would function properly.
Okay,
so.
It's the slide release and the safety are the same thing.
That's a brilliant idea. If it ain't broke, why fix it? That's America right there. It's a minimal number of parts to eliminate the BS that life throws your way. Let's make the slide stop and the safety the same lever, right? There you go. Yes, I said lever. All right. Let's see. Defense Dad, what is your go-to gun cleaning product when you do clean your firearms? What do you use? What do you prefer to use?
So I have a couple Aegis kits. I have CLP. I have Rem Oil. Honestly, just for nostalgia's sake, I keep going back to Hoppy's 9, and it's honestly, I like the smell.
I was thinking that as like an April Fool's gift or April Fool's thing. Weren't we joking about this? Hoppy's needs to market a line of cologne and aftershave, you know? If you like the smell of Hoppy's 9, take it with you everywhere you go. She'll like it too. You know, that'd be the marketing behind it. So,
or like I said in the chat way earlier, the easiest thing to do is just trick Travis P11 into cleaning your guns on video for you.
Dude, I'll be more than happy to. If anybody is in the Lincoln, Nebraska area and you want me to clean your firearms, and I haven't made a video on it, I'll be happy to do so for you for free. I'll pick it up. I'll clean it. I'll drop it off. No questions asked. So.
That is true. I came over and I was.
I did. I cleaned your Taurus, didn't I? We got this. And I laid everything out and I've already.
You broke the thing down. You field stripped it, cleaned it, all that. Just all right. here you go. Right. I put it back in the
You're
case.
like,
And
I'm still unpacking. It's like, it's done.
Yeah. I hadn't even got everything out of my bags, and he already had it done. So
yeah.
Now I will say, like, for certain, like, if I'm trying to clean out barrels, I like something that's in a spray can, so I can with a long nozzle, so I can get it down there. But yeah, for general cleaning, I keep going back to Hobbies 9.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And I know that I use Hobbies 9 solvent for my shotguns. I haven't tried any of the Aegis cleaners yet on my shotguns. I think I'll do that. My Beretta Patrol, A300 Patrol, when I do my next cleaning with it, which I need to. I'll be cleaning it with this to see how well it works, and we'll see how well it functions. And although the Beretta hasn't had any problems at all, but still. So, all right. And Single Shot, what about you? What is your go-to gun cleaner? What do you like to use? What's your lubricant or your CLP? What do you do?
Well, when I was in the military, I was a unit armorer. And a lot of times those people would bring in their firearms and they would be totally trashed.
Okay.
And of course, once they're clean and they're protected, they stay in the vault for X amount of months, years, whatever. So yeah, I was rather anal about the way that those firearms went back into the safe. And I knew my guys, how they cleaned them and stuff like that. But I'd always give them a good solid once over and make sure that they were 100%. Yeah, we use CLP.
Okay.
There's a lot of CLP. Some of the guys would bring in their own cleaners. I don't use Rem oil. It's good for the outside. Wipe it down real quick.
I just find that it's always been too thin. Like, I'd put it on and I'd take the gun out. It seems like there was nothing even on it. It's like, where did this stuff go? Did it really get absorbed into the metal? Is there any lubricant there? So I would use it just as honestly, when I would do it, I would use Rem oil as like something to wipe everything off with initially. Then I'd apply CLP just kind of as an initial. But it really doesn't even, in my opinion, have any decent degreasing skills. That's why, or degreasing ability. That's why I like to use like a standalone spray-on cleaner, and so yeah.
Now I like Hoppies too. I use that just about religiously for the internal, for inside your bore. And if you got like a 22 or something like that, you got to get rid of all that crud.
Yeah.
Then I'll use it on the internal parts, especially like a 1022 or my Ruger Mark II or my 3, whichever ones. Even the P85 got that after it was shot. A lot. So again, like I said, it's the military experience that I've had and what a lot of our firearms went through. It makes a difference on your environment, where you're hunting, what you're doing. If you're just out shooting, whatever, then you tend to take those factors into consideration.
Yeah.
One note for the new firearms people that are getting into it: if it's a semi-automatic, moving parts, my break-in procedure includes some graphite grease. I use graphite grease very lightly. It's not a heavy application at all, but it helps wear those parts in a whole lot better than it does if you don't use something like that. Cold environments, like up in Maine, gets 20 below zero up there. And you want something that's not going to allow that thing to jam up on you while you're out in the brush. So I will use powdered graphite very sparsely. I don't use a whole lot of it. Like I said, it's a very light coat. And it's not like oil. It's not going to gather dust or whatever and cause problems. So that's something else that you can consider. There's a lot of factors here that you've got to consider when you're a firearms owner, because all of that stuff goes into play. You got to know where you're going to be using it, the environment, what type of firearm it is. There's all kinds of factors there that you've got to consider. a lot of times when I had somebody bring in a firearm to be serviced, they didn't know how to clean it. I'd teach them how first. And then we'd actually put a few rounds through it, and then we'd take it apart again and let that individual go through the procedure to maintain it.
Taken care of. Yeah. Cool.
Great grandfather Robinson was very, very adamant about that. Boy, if you didn't clean a firearm after it was hunted with or shot, you'd be hearing about it, because he would tell you in no uncertain terms, this is what you do and this is what you don't do.
Yeah.
So he was pretty good about that.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, Scooby.
So Single Shot brought up his experience in the military, and that kind of reminded me. So we had to go down to the armory once a month and pull our M16s, pull our service rifles, and clean them. Even if they had been setting in there for 11 months and hadn't been pulled out, every month you had to take them out. You went in the back, you cleaned it, you oiled it, you put it back in the rack. I had to clean my sidearm. I didn't clean my M60 that much. I didn't have to do that every month, but we were required to do it. It was to make sure that your weapon was ready to go at a moment's notice, and it was also to because they attracted so much dirt, you could clean the thing 3 or 4 times in a row, you'd still pull dirt out of it. You just would. That's the way the platform is. Mm-hmm. As far as our crew serve weapons on the helicopters, we were cleaning those every 7 days. That was part of a regular preventative maintenance program, and we used the same gun oil we used on small arms as we did on a 20mm cannon and stuff like that. And we also had a corrosive environment. When we were on ship, we had salt spray and things like that to deal with. And that's one of the reasons why I use a little bit of extra oil on my guns. It's still that old holdover from being in a saltwater environment and that sort of thing. But another thing about cleaning our weapons in the military, and I don't know, Rob or Single Shot, if they had, this in your branch as much as in my branch, but they would have us do it for something to do, literally. It's like these guys are bored. Have them go clean their weapon.
Go clean the rack.
Now it does give you good experience. You get good at cleaning, because when you're in a fighting hole and you've got a cleaning kit and that's it, you're not back at base in the armory or whatever. You got to clean this thing in the dark or in a hurry or whatever. If you're good at taking this thing down and I mean, we used to have things where we'd blindfold and see how fast you could break down an M16. Blindfolded. Well, you knew how to do it with your eyes closed, because you
guys were like gambling 5-to-1 odds. You got who's $5 on the squib.
Not really that so much.
Challenge coins up for the grabs, candy bars. There'd be little incentives to stuff like that. So,
and it was for something to do, but it was also to make you proficient when you're out in the field and you're in a situation. You don't want that thing to fail on you, and you want to be able to clean it when you have downtime. And they just also in Vietnam, they started off with these things with chrome bores, and they didn't jam up as much. And then they decided, hey, we could save money on them by getting rid of the chrome. And they sent them over there without cleaning kits. They told these guys they were self-cleaning, and these things jammed. Plus they used one kind of powder. It was ball or stick back stateside, and then when they got overseas, they were using the opposite powder, which was filthier. And they were having problems with these things jamming. So then they went to, all right, we got to make a cartoon instruction book to teach the dumbest guy in the world how to clean this thing. We got to get cleaning kits. I don't remember if they changed the powder in the ammunition and whatnot. And they got into a doctrine of, we got to clean these things constantly. And that held over into the 80s and 90s. And I don't know about today, but as far as constantly cleaning these things. So some of these military guys might tell you to clean your stuff a little bit more because it was ingrained in us, but it works. So take it with a grain of salt. You might go, look, man, I'm not going to war. I don't need to clean it. Or, hey, I want my stuff to work all the time, and I want to be able to take it apart with, my eyes shut. So there is some good things about the military experience with that, but it doesn't always necessarily translate over to the hunting rifle you only take out once a year.
Yeah, I agree. The other big debate that we've had on videos on my channels, one of my most watched cleaning videos is, to bore snake or not to bore snake, I think that is the question. That was the name of the video, or bore snakes versus cleaning rods. And, I do believe that, using the cleaning rod with the bore brush and the barrel solvent is the best way to get everything out of the barrel to clean out your rifling. Okay, I don't disagree with that. For simplicity's sake, for time's sake, when I make my cleaning videos, which are already a ridiculously long 20, 25 minutes anyway, I do like to use the bore snake just kind of for ease of clean and use. And the barrels look fairly clean when they're done. They're shiny. I can see the, I can see the grooves in them and stuff. And so I would say if you use a bore snake, make sure you keep the bore snake clean because it can start to get a bunch of crap built in it really, really quick. It's because it's pulling all that stuff out of the barrel and absorbing it. I've heard people say they can clean bore snakes in the dishwasher. I just use warm soapy water with my bore snakes. Get them cleaned up and let them air dry. Might be able to maybe
laundry. Throw it in laundry.
Throw it in another mesh bag, put it in your laundry, and then just run it through. So if you are going to do the bore snake thing, it's nice because it's easy, it's quick, it's convenient. But at the same time, you want to watch because mine get really nasty. But I'm also using them heavily too, probably more. Some people might use a bore snake a couple times a year. I'll use mine. I'll use one particular caliber, 3 to 4 times per month. And then those bristles do wear out on those bore snakes. If that bore snake is super easy to pull through on multiple guns of the same caliber, you probably need to get a new bore snake. And again, companies I like for bore snakes, Real Avid makes a really nice bore snake. I've got several of theirs. They have like a little hockey puck they come in, and that doubles as the handle, and you can pull it through and store it. They're $10. And so, like I said, for me, it's more about a kind of a time savings thing when I make the cleaning video. If you do get yourself, a cleaning kit, what's nice about the Aegis gun cleaning kit that I've been talking about today and showing you is you do get a couple brass rods with certain field kits that they sell. And you can also screw a brush on the top and use it to scrub if you want to. The Aegis kit's really nice because you do also get the cable that you can use to pull stuff through if you want to. You also get your bore brushes. I like to use a nice, copper or brass brush with the proper caliber. And so you want to make sure that you use the proper caliber. Try not to use a caliber that's too big or too small because the brush really isn't going to do anything. So I've got several of these. But again, the kit's really nice because it comes with everything you need. Again, trying to show you if you want convenience and you want a good gun cleaning kit or somebody that needs one, these are nice because you get everything you need in the pouch. Obviously, I've got an affiliate link posted for you guys. I've got a discount code posted for you guys.
Want a nice little a nice little trick?
What's that?
Got a dirty barrel?
Yeah.
Use a regular phosphor bristle brush, put a patch right over it.
Oh, okay.
Then when you run that down through, it's going to not only scrub what's in the barrel out of there, it's going to clean up the mess behind it. So it's pretty close
it's going to pick it up while you push it through. It's almost like a budget bore snake, basically, right? Does a pretty good job. Yeah.
I've done that so many times with some of mine. I get them so damn nasty that it required a good scrubbing before they would come out clean. And surprisingly enough, if you do that, especially after you get a clean patch and you run that down through there again with a patch over that brush, you'd be amazed at what you pull out of there.
Oh, I know. Yeah. It's kind of like, oh my God.
Yeah. I missed all of that crap.
Oh yeah. Or you didn't miss it. One of those two, like, you don't miss seeing it. So, Aegis Gun Care out there says if you have an ultrasonic cleaner, then, hang on a sec. Aegis Gun Cleaner says if you have an ultrasonic cleaner, they work really good to clean bore snakes. That's something I never thought about. But the ultrasonic cleaner in general is a good way to really get a thorough cleaning of your parts. Yeah, invest in one of those. So, Rob, what's up? What were we going to say?
Yeah, just want to throw a little PSA warning or, what could be a problem. Just in reference to throwing a bore snake in a washer. Obviously you can. If you're going to do it, I'd recommend, like Travis said, to use one of them bags, laundry bags or something. Wash it with
towels, maybe. Don't do it with regular clothes because those brushes. Yeah.
Yeah. We've had issues even like a robe or tie thing that goes on the robe and stuff like that. It'll get wrapped around in the washer and things don't wash right and it's supposed to damage something. In a sense, stuff or
Rob,
whatever. So any kind of small cordage like that. Okay, any kind of small cordage like that could definitely, could potentially be a problem, not wash well. Plus, keep in mind, this is chemicals, lead. It's, we have people with any kind of allergies or sensitive, it's really kind of a no-no to cross-contaminate. So, but, people do a lot of what they want to do, whatever. So just keep that in mind. If you wash your bore snake in the washer and the kids get a rash, it might be on you. So
it might leave some residue in the washer too when it's done. You never know because oils are kind of thick and sometimes they don't always wash
it might not be I personally do mine like Travis said, with a like a bowl of hot water, you know, kind of hand wash it and
Soak
stuff
it,
like
squeeze
that,
it
and
out,
wring it
air
out
dry
dry.
it, rinse it. Yeah.
Yeah, just to avoid any kind of contamination and stuff like that. But I mean, I'm sure it could be done, or if you have a separate washer set up for rags or something like that for a shop or whatever, I'd throw it in that one, something like that. So would probably be a lot better. Something you're not going to be wiping your face off with the next day after a shower. Would be my recommendation. And board brushes, I do love board brushes, but I will throw a hint, another thing on that. They don't get the chambers of like an AR very well. So, you really need that chamber brush to get in there.
Get a chamber brush that's going to be like a double thickness brush. Yeah, it's going to fill the chamber and the throat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then just like
special brush made for that.
Yeah, they're only a couple.
Yep. And even with that, splash shit everywhere. So it's a I don't know. There's no good fun way of cleaning that part, I think. But with a standard rifle, the bore snake, I think is a blessing. If you clean regular, in some cases, that's all you really need. Plus, some 22s blowback, they'll have a was it the extractor? Not the extractor, ejector. So there's a piece of metal in the damn way. So if you run a rod through, you got to be real careful not to bend anything or press, and that can be kind of a pain. Where if it's a bore snake, you can usually turn it in another angle away from that, stuff the thing through,
pull it in through the chamber, basically, and take it through.
And you bypass, and it's not a problem at all. You know what I mean? So just something to keep, obviously be smart, be cautious. There's I think both are great, but I do like bore snakes.
Okay. Foos, what about you? What's kind of your thoughts on bore snakes versus just traditional cleaning rods? What do you like to do?
Bore snakes if I have them.
Okay. For rifles too, kind of the same idea.
Yeah, depending on how much cleaning I need to do. Down a pistol, I don't even worry about it. Down a rifle, I guess it depends. I tend to have bore snakes.
Okay. Yeah, for me, it's kind of like if I'm just doing a quick cleaning video, I'll do so. What's that? Rob, or are you showing us your lunch? Is that what we got going on here? Is that because I ate a lot of rabbit as a child, growing up in a Czech German family, it was kind of a common delicacy. So,
yeah, just a backup. It's always good to have pets you can eat.
It's good to grow your own food, to raise your own food. Look at that, man. Cute and Fuzzy Bunny Time is brought to you by Aegis Gun Care. Yeah. God. That's one of those 4-H bunnies, man. That's not those little cottontails that we see running around over here in Nebraska that destroy our yards. That's one of those cute and funny ones that you see like on the set of Teletubbies and stuff like that. Oh man. All right, a little bit more to talk about here. Razor JB makes a good point. May have to simple green your washer after. Seeing guys have oil spots in the shower and on their clothes following washing bore snakes and even soaking them beforehand. So yeah, I'd almost recommend the couple drops of Dawn in a hot bowl of water, soak it, squeeze it, then maybe rinse it and then air dry it. And, you should be all set to go. Don't put it back in a bag, especially if it's still moist. You probably want to make sure that you keep that cable dry. So now a few more things to talk about here. Again, more nice things I like about the Aegis gun cleaning kit is you've got your brass jags. These work really well for pushing your patches through. I've had plastic ones break and wear out over time, then end up having to go spend, $2 to go buy another one, go to the store to go get one or order one online. But it's nice to have nice durable parts, and that's what I do like about the kit itself. Something else I like to use are the cotton patches. I use a ton of them on my channel. I usually buy bags of 500 on I go get them over at Cheels. You can also cut up your old cotton t-shirts if you want to. Rob, is that your new source of protein or what? What is that? Those crickets to feed the rabbit or what? What was that? Are you growing your own protein?
That's food for the food.
Oh, food for the food.
Yeah, it's food for the food. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Wait, but you say rabbits are carnivorous? Rabbits actually eat insects?
No, that's actually for the bird.
I was like, what? Okay.
Didn't you see Monty Python?
Which one? Yeah,
the Killer Rabbit.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, they are. They do come right after you, don't they? They love to eat knights. So yeah. Let's see. How does the price on Aegis products compare to others? Money is tight. Well, here's the thing, Wild Thing. If you go out and buy a bottle of cleaner, so like even like CLP is going to run around. Small bottle of CLP will run you 10. A bigger bottle will run you $15, $18. The Aegis cleaner and lube, which you can get many cleanings from, $20 for this set. And if you use my discount code TRASP11, you get 10% off. The whole cleaning kit, I want to say they've got cleaning kits that start around $35. And that would get you the bore brushes, the jags, the rods, cleaning brush, some of the nice double-sided Q-tips that we have here with the fine point and the more rounded end, and some patches. I can't remember if you go to aegisguncare.com or use my affiliate link in the description box or in the comments on the side. And yeah, I'm trying to get that out there so people do it because I want to save you some money. You can pretty much buy whatever kit will fit your budget. And so, because if you go out and buy the brushes, the cleaner, a bore snake, you can spend whatever you want on a clean kit, like as little as say $20 on a little hoppies kit for one caliber. But then if you have multiple calibers, you got to go buy more brushes, and it really starts to add up quick, which is why I'm kind of a big proponent of just getting an all-in-one that has everything you need. Now on the channel, I bought like a deluxe cleaning kit at like Cabela's for like $50, which was fine, but a lot of the calibers that were in there I don't use. And so what's cool about the Aegis Gun Care kits is that you're going to get your popular calibers in that particular kit, your 9mm, your 45, your 22 LR, and you can add other brushes if you want to. You've got like 357 and so on, 380. So they're going to give you the popular calibers that you're more likely to use. Okay. So yeah, and I can't remember what I paid for shipping on. Shipping prices are very fair too.
Your 380 and
your 9 is going to be the same thing. Yeah, and even your 357,
your 380,
right?
357 and 9 should all be the same.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever gotten, I want to say in my cleaning kits, I think I've had a just dedicated 357 brush in the more deluxe kits that have the 50 brushes and barrel swabs and stuff like the deluxe kit. I think they give you like a 9/380 and they'll give you a 357 and they might have a 40 and so on. And if you have a 40, you can use it for 10mm also. The other nice thing about that Aegis offers for a couple bucks is the fine point applicator tip. So instead of going and buying another bottle of cleaner with the fine tip on it, you can get this and just screw this on your lubricant bottle and you're all set to go. So you can just put a drop or two where you need it, and that'll kind of minimize waste. And, I used quite a bit of the spray on cleaner on the Taurus pistol that I cleaned, and I only used like not even a tenth of the bottle. And that was probably more than I needed to. So I really kind of coated that slide and that barrel because they were kind of mucked up. Frame, I just kind of lightly sprayed it down a couple times. So yeah, you're probably looking at like say $40 and you're all set to go. But then you could use it on multiple calibers of guns, which is nice.
Quick question. In this cleaning, have you guys ever talked about having dental picks for hard to reach places?
Yeah, that's another thing too. Sometimes I've ended up having to use like little tiny punches to get stuff moved out or pushed out, but dental picks are nice. Again, you do get a dental pick with the more deluxe field kit from Aegis. Otherwise, you can buy multiple, big packs of dental kits like at Harbor Freight. This one's nice because you got your little blunt end on one side and then you got your little hook on the other. So if you need to push something or pull something or move something or put a spring back on, you can use the little tiny pick to do so if your fingers are too big to get in there and do it yourself. So dental picks come in very handy. Like I said, cotton swabs for the fine detail work. But again, like I said, the Aegis kit's going to work out really well. Now, what I will say also, who is asking that question about spending a lot of money on it? Wild Thing, I do want you to know that during this podcast, before we're gone, we are going to be giving away a kit, by the way. We're going to be going into the random comment picker, and we're going to pick one lucky winner to get the cleaner lubricant, as well as an Aegis Gun Care sticker, Travis P11 sticker. So I'm going to send that to you. So if you win that, I'll tell you who to email, and you can email me and I'll get your item sent out to you. So somebody's going to win. It could even be a panelist. Whoever gets it's going to get it. I just want to give the kit away so you can try the products out and see what you think. So I do have an extra kit that was donated by Aegis Gun Care, and so that's going to be given away today on a little giveaway. So there you go. That's going to happen. I didn't announce it earlier because I didn't want people to be here just because of a giveaway. I wanted people here sticking around till now because they want some genuine good cleaning advice, right? Tony York says the 380 brush works on 36 caliber black powder guns too. A couple things I want to mention. If you do ever buy it, what is it called? Like Safariland Bore Blast, I think is the name of it. You want to read the instructions on that because that stuff will melt polymer. So you want to make sure it's just the barrel you're spraying into or the barrel's detached from the firearm when you clean it. Just like little things you want to think about, because it will melt polymer. It'll melt your Magpul plastic if you're not careful. That powder blast stuff it's nasty, but it works good. You also want to only use it outside because the fumes are pretty wicked that come off of it. I've used it before.
So I basically
Foos.
exclusive. I basically use exclusively Lucas stuff.
Okay.
It is extremely it's extremely good. Pretty much all of their gun lubricant bottles already have that drip nipple on them.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then their cleaner, it's I use their whenever I do clean, I do tend to use their sonic cleaning stuff as a solvent. Whenever I take and do my yearly tear with Dawn dish soap and hot water, and then stick them, I have a dehydrator, I'll stick it in there for an hour and a half or something just to get the rest of the residue off. Oil them, put everything back together.
Okay. Let's see, what else can we mention here before we kind of move in? Yeah, go ahead, Rob.
Since I got another little tip, no pun intended, I guess you could state, but Q-tips. Basically, I didn't know this, because I'm a guy. I'm an old school guy, I guess you can say. Modern guys may be different. I don't know. Whatever. They sell special Q-tips for girls for makeup. I can't recall what they're named, but the tips on them. One tip will be more of a pointier cone on one end. The other tip is like a flat wide end. And I've found these things to be great cleaning guns.
Aegis, you need to make a note of this. You might need to adapt the Q-tips that you offer to go with that style. So go ahead, Rob. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just standard. The last ones I got, I think, were Family Dollar or something like that. You can get them at General Dollar. You can get them basically anywhere, Walmart, whatever. But I did notice they're if you go to CVS or something, they're more than regular Q-tips. I don't know why, but they're more there. So
they might be like a foam instead of cotton. Are they like a foam applicator? I don't know. I'm fairly well domesticated, but I don't have a lot of non Q-tip use. So
the ones I got are cotton. They look the same as the standard Q-tips, except for the way the cotton's put on. They're put on in a shape.
Man, you guys are making a lot of assumptions out here. Rob wears makeup.
Yeah, no, it's just like I said.
Okay, Rob, you go, and then Foos, you go. Go ahead, Rob. We're just going to coordinate this. Go ahead, Rob.
I was going to say, it's basically just looks like a standard Q-tip. The cotton on the ends are different shapes. Instead of the standard kind of teardrop, we'll say, it's like a flat tab on one side. It's almost like they crushed the teardrop and it's pressed that way, which works great in the AR chamber areas. And then the other end is put down to like a fine tip. You know what I mean? So I guess it's for applying makeup or something. I don't know. I don't know if it was the kid, the lady, somebody had one, and I was like, "What is this?" You know what I mean? And oh my goodness, they're great because you can get into places that normally a Q-tip's just too fat to get in, even where you have roll pins and stuff, where you got a little crud in there and it might look funny. This will get it. So it's just it's cheap. It'll save you time if you're picky. It might just be something to add to your stuff or something to try out. So. That's an item where I would state, I don't know why every gun kit doesn't come with these, personally. So, you can get into more areas, you know what I mean? That's like a mind blower to me personally. So I love them.
Foos, now you go ahead. Go ahead, man.
So that's where is if a normal toothpick can't get there, I use a dental pick to break it up, and then sometimes I'll use a dental pick and a patch just to get the crud out of there. So it's same principle. And the comment I was trying to break in with is the reason they're more expensive is because it's designed for females, and everything designed for females is more expensive because
the woman tax, isn't that what they call it? I think it's a real thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably right on that.
Oh, it's designed. it's designed for a female. They'll pay an extra $5.
Well, we will. Because who's buying it here?
Yeah.
Let's be honest. We will. Yeah.
We will.
Yeah, right. Yep.
Woe is me. Real quick, Tony York did say he found a package of 2-inch by 2-inch cotton patches at the Dollar General last night. 160 for less than $2. I'm gonna go visit my local Dollar General because that would be worth the trip. Because I spent $15, I think, on 500. So if I can cut that cost in half, and they're just as good as regular patches. Now I do cut up old cotton T-shirts sometimes, but those tend to be thicker than the cotton patches, or almost double thickness. But you can get around the cotton patch thing. I just would never recommend Kleenexes or paper towels. So yeah,
I was gonna say old T-shirts, but if so, cut them smaller, and possibly like if you're going to use a 308, like let's say you have a 308 caliber gun, use a 270 bore brush, or something a little smaller because the cotton's thicker.
Yeah, it's a good point. I never thought about that.
I don't know how many rods I've had to bang down barrels because I used a too big of a cotton patch that I made, or too thick, or something like that. So I just started going down to the next caliber down. So 270 for 308, make your own. If you have 270, go down to 243. Go to a little bit smaller.
Probably just downsize one caliber bore brush size. Yeah. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah. I use the Montana Extreme brass jags, and that theory works out real well with those, because that does, when you get close to caliber with that brass jag, the material that you put on there for a patch, it's got to be pretty thin. There's another point there that I'd like to make real quick, though. AR shooters. There is such a thing as a star-shaped, semi-firm pad that you can screw onto a rod by screwing a cleaning tip on the end of it. And that's to get down inside of the barrel extension, or past that star where your lugs lock in, and clean that stuff out. So that's something else that you can keep in mind.
Those are pricey.
They are, but they're worth it.
If you need to clean it, but the thing is, you don't need to clean every rounds. Fine.
Yeah.
I have 6,000 or 7,000 rounds through mine. Of course, this is example of one. I don't have any of that crap on there. I've never used it, but
it just depends on the convenience of it. Yeah. Just depends on what you want to do. So, quick, let's talk about. Go ahead.
My AR is almost as dirty as that SIP-me that you bought from me.
Let's talk about that for a second. While we're on that topic, pre-saturated cleaning wipes, very, very nice, expensive, very convenient, but I used an entire can of Otis OS22 cleaning wipes cleaning the SIP-me C308 that I bought from Foos. No matter how many no matter how many of those cloths I kept wiping stuff off with, I kept getting crap on it. And I literally burnt through an entire can. There must have been 25 or 30 of those wipes in that can. Those Otis wipes, man. And oh my God. And those are nice and convenient, but my God, that was like $20 right there for that one can. But she's clean now. And that's all I care about.
The reason for that is because I used white lithium grease on that bolt instead of oil.
Yes.
So that was
It's okay. No, and I do use the grease. I'm going to be switching over to the Aegis lithium grease. Before I was using just Walmart red lithium grease or whatever it is, the red grease that they have for automotive on the bulk carrier groups, which it's messy. It gets messy and flings stuff all over the place and attracts a lot of crud, but it works as a lubricant. It'll work. So I'm excited about trying something different. I need to get the AKs out and get some cleaning on and try that grease this time around this winter and see what I think about it. But
try that graphite grease.
Yeah, was a possibility too. I like the white lithium. I'm very happy with it, but yeah.
So something I've noticed that grease in the winter will will slow your bolt down and cause malfunctions, especially with pistols. So a lot of times whenever I shot very heavily, this year I didn't shoot very heavily. Grease in the summer and oil in the winter.
Okay.
I use the graphite powder in cold weather. That stuff doesn't grease up on you, get firm, yet it still has plenty of lubricity to take care of your AR while you're using it, or the AK, either one. So, it's like I said earlier, it depends on your environment that you're shooting in. If it's extremely cold, graphite powder, very sparingly. Sorry.
I just like using built-up carbon for lubricity. I'm kidding. Kind of.
I think he needs to lube his reception.
So,
Not coming in
I was
too
like,
well.
is that us? It's like, is that us or? Okay.
So I had to step away for a second there. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Because you just had dead silence for about 15, 20 seconds.
Well, that's what it took me, because we're going to talk about wood and how to best maintain your wood on your firearms. And so I like to use liquid gold wood care. This stuff works great on your wood. What's nice about this, I actually learned about this from Stan at SS Pawn. Him and his wife, when they ran the pawn shop, they would go buy different, they would go to estate sales and they would buy furniture. And a lot of it was vintage furniture, old furniture, and they'd restore it. And liquid gold is what they would use on it. I'd go into their store and they had all their furniture on display. In fact, I think we bought a table when I was married. We bought a table, really nice table and chairs from them that was like 30 years old. They bought it at an estate sale. And this stuff is what I use on my wood, on my firearms. This stuff works great. You just have to spray it on a cloth. You wipe it on with a lint-free cloth, and then you just wipe it off, and then that protects it. That's what I use. I don't ever use Pledge. I know Murphy's oil soap works really good too, but liquid gold is awesome. So, you definitely want to get liquid gold. Good. This stuff, and it smells good too. But I've used it on many different firearms. My Mosin, I've used it on the wood stocks on my shotguns. And this is what I would recommend, since we needed to kind of cover that part of the cleaning chat. We hadn't talked about wood yet, so we needed to make sure that we get that out there. So yeah. What about you guys? What do you use to maintain the wood on your firearms? What works for you?
Well, number one for wood. So don't heavily oil your gun to where it could cool up, and put it back in your stock and put it stock down. Because that oil will penetrate that wood and deteriorate it. Okay. So anything come in contact or close to wood, make sure it's really dry or have so thin coat that it cannot run.
Yeah, this doesn't. This goes on like a light vapor, like a light spray, and it. Yeah.
I'm talking about gun oils leaching into wood.
Okay.
So
I got you. Yeah. Okay.
That's one reason I don't. That's another reason whenever I shoot rifles and stuff, I don't clean them, is because I know the carbon stuff won't be going anywhere, and so that's one reason I don't do it, because of the wood, preserving the wood.
Okay.
Because I do have some guns built in the that are quote unquote antiques. So
yeah, you want to be very, very careful with how much you put on there, because if it's running off, it's definitely going to be considered way too much, pretty much for any firearm anyway. I mean, you're not running something that heavy that needs that much lubrication on it. And that's why I always say wipe off any excess. Things should be clean, things should be fingerprint free, should be shiny, right, for the most part, but unless it's parkerized or whatnot. But it doesn't need to be just running off like it's just dumped.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, like I said, in a lot of my cleaning videos, that happens just because of wearing gloves and oil and stuff all over the place, and that's just kind of the nature of the beast. But when I'm done, I always wipe off the excess with dry patches.
Yeah.
All right. Tony does say that he's got a couple relatives that use Rem oil on the stocks. Tony was talking about an orange type of, there, if you go, I know what you're talking about, Tony, and I can't think of the name of it, but there is a like an orange base, like furniture polish you can get. There's a lot of things you can get, but Scott's Liquid Gold, man, this stuff's like $7 or $8 a can. This stuff is awesome. Works like on any antique vintage wood. It's amazing. I love it. So that's pretty much my go-to.
What would you wipe down the inside of a stock with that?
I don't. In fact, those are usually, I mean, like on the Mosin, it's unfinished. So I don't do anything on the inside of the stock. Maybe I should be, but this only seems to work if it's got, if you need to restore some sort of a finish that used to be there, like some sort of a, like an acrylic or something, but yeah.
So I'm thinking like most people all the finish on the stock's on the outside, but you get on the inside and that's where all the rough, that's where everything can get soaked up if not done appropriately. And that it could wear out from the inside out first. So I was wondering.
Yeah, no, I've never used cleaner on the inside. So go ahead, Shane. Well, Shane, you know a lot. Defense Aid, you know a lot more about this than we do. What would you say on something?
Well, I do a lot of woodworking. Like I said, so it depends on the finish. If it's a modern gun that's going to have a tougher finish, just wipe it down with a damp rag and then dry it off. But if you have an old, like Squib's got a lot of old, mill serps, that kind of stuff. And I think Single Shot does too. But like for that, you can wipe it down, but maybe just a thing of linseed oil or just something. Certain like newer cleaners are going to eat those old finishes off, and certain finishes you're just wasting your time. But if you've got a good clear coat, really just wipe it down.
Okay.
Plus, I mean, honestly, I don't want anything that's even halfway slick on my wood stock.
Yeah. This pretty much just kind of enhances the look. It doesn't make something oily and slick. It just kind of preserves it from, especially drying out is the big one. If you've got wood that's drying out and starting to chip, the finishes coming off of it, this will kind of restore that and kind of bring back some of that luster.
Yeah,
it kind of saturates it a little bit. It definitely moistens the wood. It definitely brings some of that moisture back into it. So yeah, but not so much to the point that it's going to be like wet. Yeah.
Quick question: what would you use on an older gun that has a lot of like finger oils and hand oils, like it's been used a lot? How much, like, what would you use to help try to pull that oil out and try to revitalize the stock? Because I have an old Type 30 Arisaka that it looks like dirt, the finish. And I know it's old oils and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Use a hair dryer or a heat gun on low and just lightly heat that up. That'll bring all that oil to the surface and just wipe it off. Mark Novak has done a beautiful video on that stuff. He's, as far as I'm concerned, one of the top gunsmiths in this country. And,
I would agree. Okay. I forgot about that.
You want to be careful. You don't necessarily want to break out like the Murphy's oil soap or anything like that, because that stuff will. I mean, the reason it cleans, it kind of makes that finish. It'll wear the finish off if you use it too strongly. So just be real careful of what you try to use.
Yep. Yeah, that's why I say that the heat sources from the heat guns or a hairdryer on low. You got to be careful how fast you heat that wood up. So,
okay,
that's a good way to get that stuff out.
Yeah, because I need
getting cosmoline out too.
Yeah. Also, a good thing to get cosmoline out, especially around the barrel, is put about 40 or 50 rounds down the barrel and let that heat up the wood.
Yeah.
And keep a rag and keep on.
Now,
rubbing on it.
Things that let's just talk about that real quick. You guys go mill serp. You have cosmoline on the wood, so you get an SKS or a Mosin. We had discussions on this before. I'd heard mineral spirits is something you should wipe down the wood with, but that's also going to take off the finish at that point and lead to refinish the gun. It'll leach out, but it's also going to dull the stock. I've never done anything with mineral spirits before, but what can you say on that? Yeah.
Mineral spirits is okay. The best way to do that is if it is the entire stock that's in it. Take what I would do is I'd wrap it in paper towels and then stuff it in a black bag, black garbage bag.
Yeah.
Stick it out in the sun for about 5 or 6 hours.
We've also heard like trunk of a car, if it's like 100
that
degrees
gun's
out, like
gonna
leaving the
dry
trunk of your
some-
vehicle, that'll also leach out the crap out of the wood. And then
Yeah,
you can just wipe it off. It'll sweat out the same idea.
Yeah.
Same concept. You get it warm. Same concept of shooting it. It just gets all that warm, and whenever oil gets warm, it expands, and it will leach out of the gun. And then you just, and I mean, expect to do this multiple times if it's some of these SKS that came in from China.
When I got my Mosin, it did have some Cosmoline on it. It was off the rack, clean, right? But there was still some Cosmoline on the bolt inside the chamber. You could see it is sticky. So what I did is I dicked the gun apart completely, and I had a nice big like pot sitting out, and I had some really, really hot water, and I kind of mixed up a simple green hot water mixture, and I just kept taking that and pouring it down the barrel. I took the bolt completely apart, soaked everything in it, poured it down the barrel, poured it over the top of the receiver, got the gun, all the metal parts got soaked in simple green, and then did a hot water rinse, and then immediately applied a firearm like CLP to it. That's when I was with CLP. When I was doing CLP like 10 years ago. And then, wiped everything off, and that was a nice preservative because and I noticed that metal just absorbed that oil. Like it was 2 coats before it was back to where it should have been. But that's because it was almost like a total degreasing by using the simple green on it. And I got rid of that water because that water had the residue of the Cosmoline in it. And that did work really well, but it took a lot of work. It took a lot of scrubbing and hot water pouring and soaking and stuff. So
if you're going hot water, make sure you smack that thing good with WD-40, wipe it down, and then lightly oil it.
Yeah.
Oh, WD-40 because that will penetrate and push out all water. Gotcha.
Yep. And so, I mean, and again, milsurp, cleaning, that's a whole nother discussion for another time. But just basic, gun maintenance, what we're talking about, there's whole videos that'll show you how to degrease and decosmoline your milsurp firearms. There's a lot of good videos on that. But if you do that sweating method that we mentioned, putting it in a bag and sitting it out in your yard, you're going to have to probably refinish the stock at that point because it's going to be very dull. It's going to leach everything out. And you're going to have a dry wood stock. So at that point, you're going to want to look at sanding it and refinishing it. I don't know if it's really going to hurt the value at this point. I think when it comes to Mosins and stuff, like the prices on them, nobody cares. People just want the gun. Even mismatched, beat up Mosins are bringing $300. Even if their serial numbers don't match, they've got pitted barrels. People don't care. They just want one because they're not hard to find, but just because of the demand, the prices on them have gone up because they've disappeared off the racks at the prices they used to be, say 10 or 15 years ago or 20 years ago. Yeah. So you don't really have to worry about it.
Off the rack for $89.
Yeah, and so mine, I'm assuming mine still has the original finish on it. I've only used the Scott's liquid gold on the stock on my Mosin. But now, granted, I've got that aftermarket stock that Kevin June gave me that I've been using, that ATI stock. So that Mosin stock's been sitting in there. But I probably could take it out and just give it a good wipe down like once a year, clean all your guns at least one time, just because you're going to get residue in the barrel, depending on how dusty it is, depending on how you have a locker versus a safe, you might get a lot of dust that gets in that gun locker. I've noticed that myself. So, yeah. So that's what I would definitely recommend. So you know what? I think it's time. Let's go ahead and end the poll. And then I think we'll go ahead and do our little giveaway. And then we'll just call it. It's been almost a good 2-hour discussion on the basics of cleaning your firearms, what we use, what we like, me talking about the kit, the supplies. We could have a whole day discussion on the accessories too. So what's that?
What was the poll? What was the poll about?
The poll was for you, Foos, actually. It said, how often do you clean your firearms? The first one was after every range trip, 55%. After X number of rounds, that was 20%. I didn't want to say 100 or 200. I just wanted to throw it out there. Once a gun begins to malfunction, 10%. And then, in quotes, what's gun cleaning? And that was 15%. So those were the responses that we had for today's poll. So, yeah.
I like the 15%. Well,
you're 15%. The 15% rule. That's you 15%ers.
Yeah. I mean, actually, I do. I maintain them. I put oil. Yeah. I will wipe down the barrel and put fresh oil whenever it's really starting to get cruddy. I do that because it is mechanical. I do want to prolong them, but like for me, like just taking off the top end and wiping it down, that's not cleaning to me. Cleaning to me is I'm taking every little itty bitty teeny thing out of here and cleaning it, and then I put all new springs and stuff like that in it. I do that once a year for my high use stuff. I do that once.
Well, yeah, and people also don't realize you're a high volume competitive shooter, so you'll burn through thousands of rounds. Like thousands and thousands. You'll shoot 20 times more in 1 year than I'll shoot my entire lifetime on a certain gun, right? So for you, it's like the cleaning is like it'll happen when it happens, but it doesn't have to happen right away just because of the volume of shooting. You're always, it's almost like washing your car every single week. It's like it's going to get dirty every week anyway, but still,
Right. So the infamous picture that I have, or the time that I remember where I looked, I'm like, wait, I thought this was supposed to have a trigger bar right here. That was after about 60,000 rounds in a year.
Okay.
Through that gun, where you look down and it has trigger bars on both sides, and you just couldn't see the trigger bar because the carbon built up and then actually encompassed the trigger guard. I mean the trigger bows. So yeah. I mean that was after 60,000 rounds, and all I.
You're breaking up there, Foos. But yeah, we did hear your volume count, your round count. So I mean, yeah, like some people think, I got to do it every 1,000, and the gun's gonna quick running.
So,
yeah.
And then I took it apart, cleaned it, and kept on going.
Okay. All right, Grumpy Bear, good comment, guys. Ultrasonic cleaner, again, another topic for another time. But you can look up ultrasonic cleaning your firearms if you want to. Harbor Freight has an ultrasonic cleaner for under $200, highly recommended. Yeah, I never thought about that. That'd be a place to check. Or if you guys have a recommendation for an ultrasonic cleaner, definitely put it in there. So that's something to think about. If you want to post a comment real quick or something you want to say, obviously something appropriate for our audience, feel free to post a comment in there because we're going to be ending comments here in a couple seconds to do the drawing. Now you can keep commenting afterwards, but if you want to be in the drawing, you need to have commented at some point during this video. Maybe put down your favorite brand of gun cleaner or your favorite cleaning product, and you guys are going to be in there. And it is going to filter out multiple entries. It's also going to filter out like direct replies to people. It had to be an original comment that you posted. Anybody in the panel that posted a comment on that side, if I happen to win, obviously I'm going to redraw. We'll redraw again. But if anybody on the panel wins it or anybody out there watches it, we're going to do the random comment picker. And I'm going to go to the screen sharing right now for you so you can see it. And we'll have an opportunity for one person to win a very cool Aegis Gun Care cleaning kit. We're going to send you the lubricant and the cleaner. I've also got the Aegis Gun Care sticker for you, right? And I'm going to send you a card, just my little card for contact info, and then a Travis P11 sticker, which usually only goes to the patrons. So that's and my close personal friends. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and give that away right now, and I'm going to ship it to you. So I'll need to get an address from you. When we're done, I will look you up, or you can email me at thecalibercorner@gmail.com. And that will get you, we'll get in contact with each other. I'll get a hold of you and say, hey, I need you to, so make sure you're watching this, guys. If you win this, you need to reach out to me at thecalibercorner@gmail.com, or I'll try to reach you. And then we'll get your kit sent out to you because I'm going to need your mailing address. Hopefully, Continental 48 states. I don't know if I can ship this stuff abroad. It might be a pain. So we'll see what happens. But, and I think this is approved for all 50 states. So we should be good.
Or whenever you remember mother's maiden name in the comments. Oh, and phone number. And date of birth.
No, look, man. You guys know I'm working on my personal life, but Foos, I'm not that desperate, okay? I'm not that desperate. But put it in there anyway. Yeah, feel free to go ahead and do so. And Travis P11 will go ahead and give her a call. All right, so here we go, guys. Let's go ahead and run it through the random comments. The address is up there. We haven't done a drawing for a long time on this channel. We're going to go to the comments right now, and we'll see what happens. I've got the address in here. Hopefully it's going to run. Go to the comments. What is going? Oh, there's a CAPTCHA somewhere. Where's the CAPTCHA at? What is going on here? I'm trying to find the. I don't know where the CAPTCHA is. All right, we'll redo this again. If we need to, we can find another random comment picker. So, what do we got here? Okay, let's go ahead and take the address from the video that's currently happening right now. We'll copy that in here. I'm kind of talking our way through this. Let's see. Let's paste it. And I'm probably missing something crucial here. Add. Filter duplicate users. Okay, one winner. Show random names. Okay. Go to YouTube comments. Okay. Is this going to do? That's going to start a download. Start the raffle and pick the winner. Is this going to work? Or am I just going to just download something to my machine? I have no idea. Let's see what happens here. Yeah. Okay, so it looks like this one doesn't work. We're going to have to probably go use another one. No idea what's going on. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and do a different comment picker here real quick. All right. What do you guys know what Gary uses for his drawings? Do you guys have any ideas out there for me?
Used to use StreamYard.
They use a random comment picker.
Random person.
Usually use random comment picker. Let's see if we can find something here. Here's pickawinner.co. We'll see what happens here. Paste your YouTube link here. Okay, we'll try that. See what happens. All right. Again, I thought I've used random comment picker in the past and hasn't had a problem. So let's fetch it and see what happens. Select a filter that you want to use. Okay, anything goes. Include the replies. No. Allow duplicates. No. Okay, guys, here we go. Oh, hey, can you even see that at all? You can't see that. Let me share that with you real quick. I've got a different comment picker that's up here now. So, all right, there we go. All right, so here we go. We're going to continue, and we're going to fetch one. It's loading. Unknown error. Oh, my God. This is terrible. This is terrible. Maybe it's because we're live right now. I have no idea. All right, well, let's try something else here. That's the address. Okay, well, let's get out of that one. This will happen at some point. So, all right, let's go ahead and get out of this one. Random comment picker. Oh, this is so painful. All right. Okay, YouTube random. Here's why YouTube tool. All right, let's try this one. No, we're not going to go there. Well, guys, I don't know what to tell you. We might have to wait on this one till next week if I can't seem to get it figured out. So, no, I don't want to log in or download a tool. This is weird.
You always come up with a random question of your choosing, obviously, and first one that gets it in the chat.
Man, that'd be something. I don't know, because I guess I could pick something maybe from a video you might have seen on mine or something, but
it could be anything
here.
Yeah, obviously, but just an idea, or hold off.
But see, if I pick something, I'd want to pick something. Problem is that somebody that knows me or knows it well enough is going to know, it's going to know the answer to it already. But shoot, well, you know what? We'll try it one more time, and if not, we'll just go ahead and just pass on it for now. We'll just give it away next week, or maybe I'll go. You know what? I might just go back and maybe I have to post the video first, and once that happens, I'll just post a video, and then you guys can see who the winner is, and I'll contact that person. So, we'll try it one more time, but I'm going to try going back to commentpicker.com, which I've used a million times. But go to comments. Oh, it wants me to answer the question. Oh, is that it? Okay. Comments are disabled for the video. Oh, weird. Why are comments disabled? Okay. We're just going to go ahead and wait. I will just go ahead and put this. Once comments have posted, the video has been posted, I'll make another video, and then I will go ahead and just paste that address in there, and we'll have a person that's going to win it, and then I'll contact you. So we'll do it as another drawing. I'll do it tomorrow morning or something. We'll make it happen, guys. Okay. Yeah, lots of technical difficulties. So this is crap. So anyway, we will give away the set here once we get a comment picker that actually works. So it will happen. I'll make another video. I'll go live when I do it, but then we'll use the address from the video that's already posted up on my channel, and then we'll go ahead and do that. So anyway, shout out to Aegis Gun Care. I want to thank you guys for sending me the cleaning kit and the products. Looking forward to trying out the lithium grease. My affiliate link is posted in the description box in the video down below. And I also posted the link earlier in the chat. If you saw it, use it. Use discount code TravisP11. You'll save 10% if you use the affiliate link. You'll be helping my channel out. It does contribute to my channel, which is a cool thing. But I'm looking forward to it. Again, I've got a lot more cleaning videos coming up, more range tests coming up. I recently took my 336 Marlin out to the range and got it sighted in. So we'll do a little range test on that. Well, I sighted it in at 25 yards. I need to take it out to 100. I just didn't have time when I was out filming, or when I was out with my buddies at the range, because we ran out of time. But that video is going to happen. So there's more cleaning videos coming your way. As for Caliber Corner, we've got next week's episode, and then episode 300 will be the final episode as we go ahead and wind this bad boy down. You're still going to see me on other podcasts, though. I do occasionally show up on Ghost Tactical Show. I mean, I've been on his a little bit. I've been with Clover before, talking to him and stuff. Matt, Never Enough Ammo, G-Webs, the Daily Gun Show and so on. So I'm not going anywhere. I'm just gonna get the time back to myself on Saturdays for stuff that I want to do. So anyway, we'll be ending Caliber Corner after 6.5 years. So let's go ahead and just run it round robin around the panel, and you guys can give us your final thoughts. Single Shot, we're going to start off with you. Give us some final thoughts on gun care or anything else that you want to mention. Anything you want us to know?
Oh, excuse me. I'm in Massachusetts getting beat up here. No, I was going to it's going to be a little bit better for me here after this run because I'll have a lot more home time and able to concentrate on my home life and get some more videos posted on the 2 channels, Day Wolf on Rumble and Single Shot on YouTube.
Okay.
So
what exactly is when's your retirement date? Is it November, October? Is it this week?
It's after this trip is done, I'm done.
Oh, we want to have a Single Shots retired improvisational Caliber Corner episode. So we'll have next year, episode 299. Single Shot has retired. Let's chat. Yeah.
I may go back to it in the springtime, but I doubt it. I mean, I'm just gonna try to get used to not having this income. I've got a job opportunity that I'm working on right now. That's right there in the area where I live. So that will help me out financially as I try this out this winter. So I wish everyone a fond adieu. Everybody be safe and remember, America moves by truck.
There you go. Yeah. Real quick, want to address Revolver comment because that's actually a lie right now. Who's going to pick up the Saturday morning gun chat? Hey, I will sell you this time slot for the low price of like $45,000. Just go ahead and get in contact with me and I'll be happy to not do the show at this time. You're welcome to pick it up. Everybody loves an 8 a.m. Central Time slot. You're definitely you feel free to go ahead and pick it up and take it if you want to in 2 weeks. Like I said, I'm giving you 2 weeks notice and then somebody else can run the time slot. No, it should be now, but now that Travis has a girlfriend, I don't. That's actually, I've gone out with some ladies, but I don't have a girlfriend. No, honestly, I like to go to the range on Saturday mornings. It's what I used to do. I like to get out there and do some shooting. My family is less than an hour away, and on the weekends, we're doing a lot of stuff. In fact, my parents are coming up tomorrow instead of today, which is why I can do the show today. And I just don't want to have to delay the episodes. It's annoying to do that to you guys. If I can't do it on a regular basis, I just don't want to do it. So that's the reason why. But when I do, because you care that much about my personal life, I guess I could make an announcement if I do have a significant other in my life. So therefore, the gun bunnies of the world out there will have to quit bothering me and quit hitting me up on DMs on Instagram and so on. But yeah, so there you go. Yeah, but no, that's just that really is not the reason why. It's just because I want the time for things like that, obviously, but also chances to go to the range and an opportunity to film and stuff. So, all right, moving on. Boost, anything you want to say?
It's to have a life. Congrats on soon to be 300 episodes, and congrats on getting life back. It's a big, like, people are like, oh, okay, it's Saturday morning. It's a big time commitment for running anything.
I got up at 5:30 just because I need to take the dog out, get myself cleaned up, have breakfast, get the show ready to go. And I mean, some people do literally roll out of bed and go live, and that's fine. They can do that, but it does take hours and hours. And when I get done here, I've got to, there's more stuff I got to do before I can start my weekend. And again, unless you run a podcast, for some people, it's just not a big deal to do, and they make the time, and that's cool. For me, it does take a significant chunk of time, and I'm very busy during the week, and I don't like to stay up late during the week, which is why I don't do a lot of the late podcasts with my buddies, because I want to get some sleep. And so when I got the time on the weekends, I knew that people would give me static on this, because they obviously don't want to see it go away. But until you do it, you don't know. So that's just all I'm going to say about that. But Goose, I appreciate it, man.
My take is, if you don't want this to go away, talk to Travis. See if you can't take it over.
Hey, man, that Caliber Corner's up for sale for the low price of $45,000, which is what I need for the pickup I want to buy. So yeah, just go ahead and get a hold of me, and I'll sell you the Caliber Corner. The name of the show if you want it. So just give me $45,000 for the time slot. $90,000 will work out a deal, and you can, yeah. I guess you could pay me in ammo. That would work too, or maybe Mo's and Nagants, whatever works best. So, all right, Defense Dad, anything you want to say before we go?
Oh, fun show. That's about it.
All right, man. Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. It's good to have you with us. You've been on for many episodes, and we do like it. Now, Revolver says it's just a joke. No, I get that, but then there will be people that'll be saying, "Yeah, you're just doing it because you got a girlfriend." No, not that I really even care, but no, that's not the primary reason.
We can't say girlfriend. It's your boyfriend.
Oh man. All right. Outcast, what do you want to say, buddy? Any final closing comments before we go?
Of course, I'll comment on the last topic there with your you closing down here shortly. I think it's sad to see you go, but it's your show is great. I think and good for anybody. All different levels. Doesn't matter where you are politically. In some cases, it didn't get stuck on stuff like that. It was a good show. It was, so I think it's a shame. It's a loss to the community. I'll put it that way. I'm not going to harp on you about it, because this is my next point is, we all have different phases in life. Life is short. So you got to kind of, put your interests where your values are. I'm screwing that up, but I think you get what I mean. Sometimes it's, if it's better for Travis, then we should support it. It's just what it is. Hopefully someday somebody will come along, maybe try to fill his shoes, which I don't think is possible, thanks to his mother Kim did such a good job. I don't think it's possible, but either way, awesome. They can try, awesome. And maybe they can get close, but yeah, I like the show. I know it's not the last one, but just want to throw that out, the, I guess, unbiased of the show too, in a sense. I think that's a big thing. So, some areas things just focus one way. So I don't know. It's going to be a shame. So, but I do hope the next chapter in life is good. Hopefully things go good for you. You still pop around and
Can, watching you guys a lot. I tend to watch
some
a lot
of your
more
wisdom in the future.
Yeah. Like I said, I tend to watch a lot
more
more
than that. I just go with the okay. And as far as the cleaning stuff, I think everybody, do what's right for you. We all got different budgets, different expectations, live in different areas, whatever. I would recommend you keep them clean, but do what's right for you. Especially if people are depending on you. That's just how it should be. But other than that, I wish everybody the best. Hopefully everybody has a decent weekend. If you're interested in some possibly free product, super clean, I'll probably be doing a show. I think it's probably gonna have to be tomorrow. So I don't know. If anybody's interested in hopping in with me, hit me up with an email or something. But be doing a giveaway as well. So it's not a gun cleaning thing. So I'm not stepping on anybody's toes here. It's just a grill cleaner, driveway cleaner, grease cleaner, automotive, things like that. So I mean, it probably could be used on a gun. I don't know if you should. It's not something I was planning on attempting. So
if anybody would like to sacrifice a firearm and you're in the greater New York area, go ahead and get a hold of Rob and let him know, and he'll be happy to take the firearm off your hand. So if you're going to give it back as like a buyback program, let Rod melt it first and then give it back to you, and then you can do with it whatever you want.
If anybody has a Sky CPX2,
yes, if you got Sky CPX2 and you're willing to contribute that one, just go ahead and give Rob a call, and you guys can conveniently drop it in the mail and send it. No, don't do that. No.
Yeah, right. Be off to prison. So, no, but other than that, again, if you're interested in something like that, keep an eye out for a random show. I'm definitely not a Travis. I don't do it like often. I won't be taking his place. I know I can't fill his shoes. Won't even try. So, but other than that, thanks for joining us, and have a great day, folks.
Oh yeah. The whole point behind the show has just been, the whole point of the show has just been to have like a nice concentrated discussion on one particular topic or certain type of idea. That's what I've always tried. That's why Caliber Corner's only been like an hour long, because we focus on the topic and then we're done talking about it. And then, to educate the public the best we can. I mean, I'm not a pro on anything at all, far from it, but just, trying to get some knowledge out there for people and steer people in hopefully the right direction. I mean, we always disagree and gun guys have their own opinions, and that's fine, but it's always kind of been the whole point behind the show. And I've gone through several life phases that you guys don't know about, like the moves that I've been through and the divorce I went through and the job change and stuff. I've kept that stuff private to myself and personal until now, essentially. But there's been a lot of times where I didn't feel like I could do the show or couldn't find the time, or I was in the middle of moving and having to delay stuff. For a year there, I did it on Monday nights because I was commuting 350 miles a week, and you guys didn't know about that either. So it's a big chunk of my life, and it's been wonderful. It's been fun. I've enjoyed it. And, like I said, I'm ready to get the time back and do stuff that I want to do and kind of take care of myself in terms of, fitness and getting outdoors and going to the range and shooting as much as I can and just trying to use as much sunlight as I can because winter in Nebraska gets cold and there's not a lot of sun and I want to keep making channel content. I haven't stopped making videos. I released 3 videos this week alone that were all original videos. So, I want to put stuff out there for you guys to enjoy. And unfortunately, there's only so much time in the day and not everybody understands that. So, Squibby, anything you want to say before we go, man?
Holy crap, Travis, you're not dying. I'm not going to eulogize you like everybody else. Jeez.
WK football assistant coach, everybody. Boom. That's right. Incoming interim head coach, Squib Load.
Yeah.
Waiting for the football load channel is what I'm waiting for. So, yeah.
I'll be in charge of discipline and motivation because I don't know crap about football, but I do know how to get a team organized.
How to get them motivated? Yeah.
So he'll be arrested by next week.
Yeah, I'll be using foul language that the school doesn't approve of. And,
there you go. Throwing helmets, kicking stuff,
Yeah, I'll probably trip the principal in front of everybody just to show, he's not as.
They'll be making up new penalties for stuff you're doing that doesn't even exist in the rule book, like we mentioned before.
Yeah, where you got to go to the ref later and go, what?
Mishandling of the tee on a kickoff? What is that? Is that even a thing? Water boy technical foul? What? Yeah.
I will say this about the cleaning products or just cleaning techniques or preferences or. To clean, to not clean or whatever. I think with a new firearm owner, as clueless as so many of them are, they probably don't even consider that. They don't even consider that they've got to clean this thing if they use it. Some people just buy a box of ammo, throw it in the nightstand and, or leave it out for everybody to see and don't do anything with it. So I guess if you don't use it, you don't need to clean it. But it is something that if for regular use or if you actually care, you should do it. And the fact that you've got so many cleaning videos out there showing so many different kinds of firearms and more or less just how to field strip them. You don't have to take them all the way down to a frame.
We very rarely have ever done a total. I've done some BCG disassemblies and stuff that get kind of complicated with pins and springs and stuff, but it's been more of a field strip. Just what the manual recommends you do. That's as far as I take it because I don't want to have somebody void their warranty or launch a spring somewhere or, I've never done more of a cleaning than what the manuals recommend, except for like 2 or 3 bolt carrier group disassemblies, and that's been it. So, yeah.
Enough to make sure that it functions when you need it to function, and that's really all that it takes. And for some people out there, they're looking for a resource. I can tell you as a YouTuber, don't believe everything YouTubers say because a lot of them are full of crap, including me. And, you can make a video or you can say, do this or do that. But if you don't show it or if you don't have your camera angle right or you don't take the time to explain something, somebody will say, oh, you're too wordy. They'll go Dreamweaver. And that's because they're low intelligence. If you're taking the time to say, hey, look, if you don't know how to do this and you want to, give up 30 minutes of your life today, I'm going to show you how to do this. It's a good resource for people. So there's more to it than just, do I have body armor and an extended magazine and stuff like that. Cleaning is an important part. And for the new firearms owner out there, it might seem intimidating, but honestly, it's not much different than working on your car.
Here's the thing. If you look at my channel and you look at my most popular videos in the top 20, I'd say the top 10 videos that get watched on my channel, they're cleaning videos and they're for low cost handguns. That's, if you look at it, they're all Taurus SD9VE. They're all inexpensive sub $350 handgun cleaning videos have gotten the most views on my channel. And looking at the comments I get every week, I'll get somebody that'll post a comment that says, hey, I'm a new gun owner. Thank you. This made my life so much easier. Or I didn't know what to do, or the manual's there, but I needed somebody to walk me through it. And that's why I do it. That is why I am so wordy in those videos and mention as much crap as I need to, is because I want to answer as many questions as I can for that person. And if you don't like it, just fast forward or don't watch it. I don't care. People don't seem to understand. They can just skip that part if they don't want to listen to me babble about what cleaner I use, So that's, I
think a certain level of detail for certain things is important. That's one of the things I don't like about the auto repair videos. They'll skip so many steps. It's like
why did you the bolt, but they don't tell you what to.
Or, they don't.
Which tool
or they're
did
right
you
there
use? What
talking
size
about
socket? What socket did you use?
you know, they're running their mouth about their sponsor, and they're not even telling you, what size socket they put on there or something like that. And I've seen some other ones that are pretty good. They're under 10 minutes, and they really do show you stuff and why they do this way or that way. And so sometimes you can time it, you can make it in a short amount of time, but some videos do take 22 minutes or 35 minutes or 56 minutes. So it's really a matter of what are you interested in. If you know how to field trip a gun and there's just this one part that you just haven't figured out, sure, just fast forward through and find that spot in the video. Otherwise, just don't even bother watching.
All right, man. So that's it, guys. That wraps up episode number 298, season 6, Firearms Cleaning 101 and Maintenance. And like I said, I will do some random impromptu, Caliber Corner episodes. I just won't put the season by them anymore. But again, if you want to know if we've ever done a topic on something, just type in Caliber Corner and then space in the search box and type in whatever you want to know about. There's a pretty good chance we've done an episode on it, especially if it's gun related, right? Or caliber specific related. We focused on that heavily for years, looking at one caliber and the future of that caliber. So that's been a lot of fun to do too. So we try to put some variety out there. Like I said, just kind of leave people a little bit smarter maybe than when they started, but that's it. That's the whole idea behind it. So anyway, guys, let's give a shout out on the YouTube side. We didn't get a chance to do that this morning, and I will do that drawing this weekend for the Aegis Gun Care Cleaning Kit. We'll just, once the video posts, then the comments will be there permanently, and I'll be able to just draw from it for whatever reason it didn't work, but it will happen. I will post it. I'll do that episode live, and then we'll do the drawing from the URL for the video. Then I'll get a hold of you and let you know that you won. Okay. So make sure that you watch for that video in the next couple of days on my channel. I'll post it, try to promote it, because nothing sucks more than having somebody win a drawing and then I never get a hold of them and I never hear from them again, even though I've tried everything in my power to do so. If you're on this video, if you're watching this and you left a comment, there's a good chance that you won that drawing. Okay. And I'll make sure I mention that in the drawing video too. So anyway, out there we have myself. We've got Defense Dad. They're out there singing Dreamweaver. Grumpy Bear's out there singing. Who is that? The one that does the animal shelter videos. Can't remember her name off the top of my head. Armsman is out there. Kristen the 740. Aegis Gun Care out there with us today. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Again, it's kind of an odd episode just because of what's going on and how I'm going to end things. But anyway, this episode's done so people can watch it for eternity, right? Kristen the 740, Revolver Comics out there. Wild Thing watching today. Tony York. Brooke Turner's in the house. Let's see. Rick Harris is out there watching. Net Flutter's joining us. Let's see. Keith Gregory, Ozzy Orsborn out there too. Squiblo. The whole Squib-Eye Empire's out there today too. Kevin June's in the house, right? Razor JB 500 Magnum watching. MC watching today too. Again, we could go on and on. Kim Williams out there. My mama's out there. G23 was with us today for a while. Good to see you, G. Jay Hike in the house too, watching. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's probably about it. Scott 79 with us. Blue Steel 44. Tony York, Defense Dad. Mentioned you guys earlier. Clover Tack in the house, also giving us some insight. Thank you, Clover. Mountain View's in the house today too. Yeah, a lot of people watching. Okay, I think we will go ahead and call it. Oh, Sarah McLaughlin. Is that her name? Sarah McLaughlin. Sarah McLaughlin sings In the Arms of an Angel. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that was the one you were talking about.
We've got some funny comments on the private side today, so of the chat that you guys aren't seeing. So anyway, all right, thanks for watching, guys. I want y'all to have fun. I want you to be safe, and as you know, we will talk to you soon. All right, take care, guys. Use Aegis Gun Care Cleaning products, and you guys will be all set to go. All right, see you later. Bye.